radio app.
Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests.
Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations.
It's free. I love iHeartRadio.
Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
It's the Asheville Turkey Trot 5K and Gobble Wobble, Thursday, November 23rd in downtown Asheville. The 23rd running of this great event starts at 9:15 Thanksgiving morning, with the Gobble Wobble 1 mile fun run starting at 8:30. Part of the proceeds benefit Manna Food Bank. Last year, over 2,000 runners helped create 24,000 meals for Manna during the holiday season. So before you hit the buffet, come out and hit the streets. For more information and to get signed up, go to AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls Studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400, the Sportsocracy. Live on a Power Rankings Tuesday, we're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Get your thoughts in on the Power Rankings this week. I've had some shakeup. It was a weird week. And I don't think much weirder than what happened last night on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I don't really know 100% what to do with what I just saw.
I mean, if you had Kirk Cousins minus Justin Jefferson carving up the San Francisco 49ers secondary, you're a witch.
San Francisco's a problem. And it ain't the problem that I thought they had.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Wilkes was the wrong hire. If you remember, I said that when they hired him.
Yeah. I remember you saying his scheme didn't fit this team, and yeah, I remember that.
Last night was comical. It honestly got to a point where I thought he was doing it on purpose. I don't know how many times you had to put Charvarius Ward on Jordan Addison and get him burnt like toast that you forgot, drank 84 beers and left burning overnight. I don't know how many times you needed that to happen to understand maybe I should stop that.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't figure it out. Then he brings in Hufanga to bracket him. And all he did was run to the outside because he's playing so far to the inside.
Yep.
It was a comedy of errors.
Yep. Stephen Tao in the comments. He's the first one on the Kirk Cousins, primetime Kirk Cousins. That's dead, right? He's won 3 out of the last 4. Does it not come a time where the man we can just drop this whole he can't win in primetime thing?
Well, you won 3 in a row. I got you. Good for you. You also lost 10 in a row before that.
Right.
So, okay, just it's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's
gotten better.
It's breathing.
Yeah. It's gotten a little bit better. Last night though, I mean, you gotta give the guy his flowers. I mean, he's doubted by everybody. Nobody gave him a chance.
Eviscerated them last night.
Yeah, nobody gave him a chance.
Every pass catcher was good.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Powell was good. T.J. Hawkinson was good. K.J. Osborne was good. Jordan Addison was real good.
Mm-hmm. That offensive line was real good. They were able to
The offensive line doesn't surprise me.
They were able to keep San Francisco. Look, we talked about this before the show, and I told you I was surprised. And you said, well, this is a good offensive line. I know it's a good offensive line, but I didn't think that you could just be as lights out, basically, as this, and keep Kirk clean all night long. They didn't have a sack. The pressure rate was like 25%.
Well, when you have a play caller on the other side that basically looks like he just found the all-out blitz on Madden, it's not as hard as one would think.
Right. I mean,
you got to say, just think of the dynamics of this. All right, you got a pretty good offensive line in the first place. You're playing out of shotgun a lot, and they're sending the hellhounds every single play. Somebody's open. It just so happened last night that no matter what he did, it worked.
Yeah.
The all-out blitz on the screen call. I'll give Kevin O'Connell his flowers. You eviscerated Steve Wilkes last night. That part scares me.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that would terrify me is, you remember all those times that I said Brock Purdy wasn't everything he was cracked up to be?
Yep.
And that the NFL was going to get tape on him? Well, he got to 10 games, and it wasn't happening. And I kind of waffled on that. Yeah, I was right in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I was right in the first place.
They have the tape on him. They've figured him out.
I have figured out enough that I know Brian Flores figured it out. And as soon as he got the ball late after they missed the field goal. And everybody's losing their minds. I was on Twitter. I kept seeing people say it. Brock Purdy's going to lead them down and win this game, and the Vikings are going to choke. Never for 1 second did I think that's how that was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you put games in Brock Purdy's hands, it's weird. He just can't do it. And then I told you this before the show, and you said, well, he didn't have Debo, and he didn't have Trent Williams. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't dispute anything that you just said. He did have Christian McCaffrey, who is the best running back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He had George Kittle, who was good last night, who's a top 3 tight end in the NFL. And he had Brandon Ayuk, who's a top 20 to 25 receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to be propped up more than that to beat that defense, they were good last night. But ask yourself, why were they good? Because they completely sold out against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Completely sold out. Did the exact opposite thing that they did against Philadelphia Eagles. They let Philadelphia kill them to make sure that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown couldn't beat them over the top.
Right.
And Philadelphia bled them like a catfish. Minnesota went, no, you know what? We're going to learn from that. We're going to stymie Christian McCaffrey in a way that nobody else has been able to, and we're going to put it in Brock's hands. And if I was a defensive coordinator in the NFL, hey, that's my game plan too. Mm-hmm. Until you prove to me that you can beat me this way, that's my game plan.
Right.
Because that Minnesota defense is not good. It's not. I had 6 games leading into this of very obvious evidence that told me, no, you're not good. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. Because Brock's eye discipline is poor, and it's getting worse. It was worse last night than I've ever seen it. And it's so predictable where you're going. Then your feet get lazy when you get harassed, and you sail the ball that Cam Bynum picked off to end the game.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be the reason that you win.
I agree.
Can't. He does not have that in him.
I'll say that same thing that you always say. I agree with everything you just said. I don't know that, at least in my case, I know there have been people who have done this. But in my case, I've never said that that's what he was, that he was a great starter in this league, that he was no doubt. What I've said is he works for the system, and he
was being
does.
talked about for the MVP.
Yeah, of course. And I get it.
Laughable.
I've never believed that. I've never believed that he's a special guy. I've said this before. He's special for being the last pick in a draft, but he's not special, right? He needs to be a part of a system that works well, right? He's got to be the cog in the wheel. The problem is when the other cogs are missing teeth, that clock don't work real well. So when you've got Jake Moody missing kicks, like he did last week and here again.
Just for the 473rd time, let me say, this is why you don't draft kickers.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you going to do now?
Yep.
He's cost you 2 weeks in a row. You going to cut him? You just used a 3rd-round pick on him. Stop drafting kickers. I don't care who they are. It never works. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. I had to get that out. My wife had to hear that about 6 times last night, so I felt like I should impart it with the people that couldn't hear me in my living room.
Okay. Christian McCaffrey, obviously he scored 2 touchdowns last night, and you go, well, how can you criticize that? Well, he dropped one inside the 12-yard line, something like that. He dropped one close early in the game that could have been 7 points as the offense was moving. That matters, right? So when you have all of the bad things happening at once, and I don't know if Brock is a cause of that, or if it generates from, the lack of confidence in him, or what, or if it's just this has just been a cavalcade of madness for San Francisco for the last 2 weeks. Of everything that's gone wrong has gone wrong, and can we rebound and throw it out? I will give you all those, that room to maneuver there. I can understand those arguments. But when this team is not working around Brock, of course, I've never believed that he was a quarterback that could win you a game when it's in his hands. In fact, I think I said last week, when you get behind like this, I don't know that you can catch up.
Well, at least the problem that I see for San Francisco, actually, you know what? I'm audible how I'm going to say this. I'm going to start with the positive. The positive is that you're in the NFC, which is absolute dog water.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter anything I'm getting ready to say, you're still going to be the 2 or the 3 seed in the NFC. Even with the evil schedule, even with I'm back to exactly where I started with Brock Purdy. You're going to beat bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
When you come up against good defenses or good offenses that you have to shoot out with, you're at a disadvantage. I'm not saying you can't win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. If you watched last night and you still don't get it with Brock Purdy, I can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help you. I acquiesced to the point of I thought he was in that 15 to 20 range in the NFL. I'm not there anymore. I'm not. In terms of sheer talent, I'm not there. He's being propped up by a lot of talent around him.
Mm-hmm.
You miss one element of that. Last week, it was the injuries. This week, it's no Debo, no Trent Williams. Now, did you think the pass rush was what got to Brock last night?
No.
Then I don't care about Trent Williams.
I did not.
Does Debo Samuel catch a ton of balls down the field?
No.
No, then I don't care about that. Because what I said a couple weeks ago was that he's doing exactly what he's being asked to do. As long as this offense stays on time and you don't get behind and you don't get into 2-minute situations, you're fine. Secret time, he had 3 more passes last night that should have been picked off. 2 of them were completely dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And the other was such a bad throw that the defender wasn't even in a position to get it. If I'm San Francisco, I have a legit fear of I'm not sure we haven't seen the best of this kid because I don't know what the next step is. Nothing has changed from the evaluation coming out of college, which is you do not have a great arm, your feet get really lazy, and I don't think you're athletic enough to make up for any of this. That was me talking about him as a backup. Now we've christened this kid as some MVP candidate. He's gonna keep letting you down. And I hate to break this to you. Do you know who they played this week?
Cincinnati.
The Cincinnati Bengals coming off a bye in your house. This debuted as San Francisco -5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that out loud just so everybody listening knows where it started and where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a really funny feeling that Cincinnati is going to catch 70 to 80% of this money off the jump. Because if that's what that defense is going to provide, I know how to beat it.
Yeah.
I got Jamar Chase. You're going to leave Travarius Ward on him one-on-one? Cool. I'm going to do this all day
Good
long.
luck. Good luck.
And if Steve Wilks can't adjust, you're in trouble. Because you're going to come up against Philadelphia again in the playoffs, and I got news for you. I watched every play of Sunday Night Football with the Eagles. I watched every play of Monday Night Football with the San Francisco 49ers. Those two don't look to be in the same class to me.
Yeah. There's a lot of uncomfortable conversations being had today in San Francisco, right? As they meet up and they break down and whatever's going to happen, there are going to be a lot of uncomfortable conversations, namely in the coach's room. Did you hear what Kyle Shanahan said after the game?
I didn't, but I would love to hear it.
He was asked about the play call that Steve Wilks had at the end of the first half. 16 seconds left, the Vikings on their own 40-yard line, and he called a cover zero all-out blitz.
Which is, it is every bit as insane as it sounds.
And that was the play. That was the play where Charvarius Ward tried to jump the route. Now, I'll be honest with you, I thought he had it. I thought he had the interception, and then Jordan Addison just went snooch and ripped it out of his hands.
And you're right, except for the fact Charvarius Ward didn't catch it. It's hard for him to take it away from him when it bounces off his chest protector, and then it's just kind of sitting there.
Right, but
Addison went, fine.
It was in his it wasn't in his grasp, but it was there for him to grasp it, and
Yes.
I thought he had it, and it was just a split second. Jordan Addison made a hell of a play.
Mm-hmm.
That kid is amazing. We'll talk about him coming up in the next segment of the show. But next gen stats, did you see this? It was the first 7-man rush in the final 30 seconds of a half that has been called since week 11 of 2020. There's a reason people don't do this kind of thing, right? You don't want to let the defense behind you with a shot at the end zone or to tack on some points.
It's moronic.
Yeah. So after the game, Kyle Shanahan was asked about this, and his only response, stone-faced, was, we're going to have a conversation about that. Like, that was just the wrong call at that time. Like, you don't do that. And I'm not saying I'm just saying there's going to be some difficult feelings tossed around in this game, not only to Steve Wilkes, but to Brock Purdy and to the defense and to Charvarius Ward. And they got a lot to figure out with San Francisco before they can climb that mountain back to, no doubt, Super Bowl contender.
And by the way, this would be a great time, since we are Carolina Panther affiliates, to say, hey, you remember all you people that told me that Steve Wilkes should be the coach of the Panthers?
Nah, he got all the guys fired up. They were just winning.
He's a great cheerleader.
He was winning with P.J. Walker.
Yeah, he's not a great coach. And I'd say that wasn't predictable, but I predicted it.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I thought about as well.
Oh, yeah, Jeremy's going to be insufferable tomorrow.
Oh,
Steve
boy.
Wilkes.
Steve Wilkes is going to get some words on this here program.
He's going to get some notoriety tomorrow, because his name's going to be said a bunch of times.
Or at least the Steve Wilkes defenders. It was not a good night for the San Francisco 49ers, but I mean, do you really – I mean, does this change your opinion of them markedly? Because they're still a top contender.
Depends on your definition of markedly.
I mean, like, do you for real have them out of the Super Bowl conversation right now?
Do you remember what I said last week? You asked me, who would I put my money on?
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
For the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We had 5 teams in the top 5. I said 4 of them. There was one that I didn't. The San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. That doesn't change anything for me. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy as your quarterback. Period. That's been my argument the whole time. If you want to go 12-5, 13-4, awesome. Hunky-dunky. Keep beating the Arizona Cardinals and the LA Rams. You can do that. It will bring you a lot of happiness. And then you're going to get to the playoffs, and the big boy quarterbacks win. Instead of little Brock Purdy, who sat on the sideline looking like, I don't know what to say. I'm just not good at this. Oh, shucksy doodles. Gotta love Ben Wright.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Coming up next, we will name our Beast of the Night, and that person was wearing purple last night, if you didn't know.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels, whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys, and we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
OMG, hot and crisp nacho fries are back, and there's even more fries to love now at Taco Bell. But it's now or never. Yeah, these fries covered in bold Mexican spices with nacho cheese sauce are only here for a limited time at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only, while supplies last.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer, and some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate razor, while others need a Gillette anti-chafe stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Okay, everyone, gather round. It's time for corny jokes about passing the torch.
The team at Kirian's Welding was fused together solid.
Thanks for all the late nights and early shifts.
But double retirements mean the crew must bond with some certified new hires.
You've both gone the extra millimeter.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Beast of the Night. Brought to you by Monster Brewing. The Beast Unleashed.
Back in the Sportsocracy, time for the Beast of the Night, and
there's only one call here.
Yeah,
it's Jordan Addison,
no doubt.
Although I do feel like we should give a silver and a bronze to Kirk
D. Cousins.
I do love that they put a top 10 chain on him. Like, I mean, you're not number one. We're not going to lie to you, Kirk, but you're in the top 10.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's embracing it.
You can be second or third. Hell, you can even be fourth. I was probably high, Ricky. And TJ Hawkinson, who was also quite good last night, in spite of the fact he faked an injury. If you know, you know. He goes down and immediately, I think it was Joe Buck. It might have been Troy Aikman. Said, I mean, he's told to fake an injury. I don't think he was. I think he actually was hurt.
Yep.
Not every time somebody goes down are they faking an injury. But Jordan Addison was incredible last night.
Yes, he was. And who didn't see that coming? I mean, come on.
If you had that, I'm going to need receipts with timestamps.
Jordan Addison. I mean, nobody probably predicted the stat line, but I had all the faith in the world that he was going to be able to pull in a good night.
Against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah. He's the only option available.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point. Now, before you overreact to Jordan Addison, and I have a funny feeling a lot of people are going to, would you like to hear the next four corners that he's going to get to meet one-on-one?
It's not good.
Jair Alexander, A.J. Terrell, Marshawn Lattimore, Pat Surtain. Yep. That's the thing you did.
I mean, it's going to be his time to prove it, right? It's his time to prove whether or not
he
can be a number one receiver in this league.
He's a very good receiver. If you remember during the draft process, I said that a lot.
Yes.
I like him better playing out of the slot as a 2 to Justin Jefferson. I think last night was way more aberration.
Well, I mean, he's not going to have too many more of those.
7 catches, 123 yards, 2 touchdown nights.
Well, I was going to say 60-yard bombs where he pulls a Madden glitch and pulls it out of somebody's chest.
Well, I mean, and that's the other thing. Think about that. All right, so you take that away, he had 6 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown.
Which is still good.
Which is fine.
It's not beast of the night territory.
Nobody's losing their mind today about that. Now, where I feel we need to go at this point.
Yeah.
I hate what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. There's a possibility the Minnesota Vikings still make the playoffs.
Yep. I hate the things you say and when you say them and how you say them, but you're not wrong.
You beat the 49ers last night, and do I think that was a little fluky?
Yes.
I do. I said the corners that Jordan Addison has to play. Yeah, here are the teams that go along with that. The god-awful Green Bay Packers, the Atlanta Falcons with Desmond Ridder, the Saints who can't score, and the Broncos who are the Broncos.
Mm-hmm. And then?
The Bears and the Raiders. Then you got 1 or 2 with the Bengals and the Lions, and then you get the Packers again.
Uh-huh. So do the math on that. That was 6 games. That was 6 games that you go, yeah, they could really win those games. And if they do that, that makes them 9-7.
9-8.
9-8, excuse me. Sorry. 9-8. That could be good enough to make the playoffs in the NFC.
In the horrific NFC, yes, that might be enough to make the playoffs.
It could be. I mean, you got a chance to be better than the last division winner if you're 9-8.
So you're going to be better than the last division winner. Can we just act like the NFC South doesn't exist? Can we let in a deserving AFC team as opposed to whoever wins that god-awful division?
No. We had to treat the NFC West this way for a while. We can deal with the NFC South.
We didn't have to do anything. We should really stop with well, you won the most god-awful of the division, so of course you deserve a playoff. No, that means you played 6 god-awful teams, and you still went 8-9.
Yep.
One rule change that I want, and I want it now. Well, which do I want more? Rid of the touche-poosh. Rid of the division winner automatically makes the playoffs.
It's division winner makes the playoffs.
I think you're right, but it's close.
Because it's not
I really
only
hate that.
Because it's not only division winner makes the playoffs, but it's division winner makes the playoffs and hosts a game, and that is terrible. Like if you make the playoffs,
that just makes it terribler.
If you make it as if your record's not good enough to host one of those games, then you don't get to host a game. Right? Like if you're 9-8, you win your division, you're getting a road game. We're going to make you go on the road to play the number 1 wild card.
For me, I don't even think you should be in the playoffs. I think we should have a rule, much like college football has, of if you can't get to 6-6, you don't get to go to a bowl game. All right? We're going to go find the James Madisons and the Jacksonville States, and we're going to let them play, even though they didn't qualify.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the first 2 years of transition.
I mean, I would agree.
That should be a rule in the NFL.
I would agree.
If you can't get to 9-8, you don't make the playoffs. We will reward another 9-8 team that played in the better conference and let them play.
Yes. I'm right there with you.
I have always hated divisions. And this year is just confirming it.
It is. But
I mean,
this is what the Vikings can.
Look how bad that 7th spot in the NFC is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll give you the layup that is, unfortunately, an NFC South team having to get in there. It's the Rams and the Commanders and the Saints. Because I can throw dirt on 5 NFC teams right now. You're not making it.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay Packers, New York Giants, Chicago Bears, Arizona Cardinals, Carolina Panthers. You're not making it. Now, let's really introspectively look at those other teams. The Saints have a quarterback that may be in a fist fight with one of his receivers if, he can stop driving a car real fast before the month is out. The Washington Commanders, I'm reasonably sure, have a sizable life insurance policy on Sam Howell because they appear to want him to get hurt very, very, very badly. I don't know what to do with the Rams. You're good-ish.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the general vicinity of okay.
I'm not going to say the same, but to me they're on the same level as the Minnesota Vikings.
I was getting ready to say the same thing.
Okay. Because, I mean, you do some things well, right? You got a veteran quarterback who can distribute the ball really well.
Oh, you Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp really well. And then?
Right.
And then what?
Right. Minnesota Vikings. You Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison now, and Kirk Cousins and T.J. Hawkinson really well. Everything else is very questionable, you know. What's the linebacker that always gets mentioned in the chat here? The new
Ivan Pace Jr.
Ivan Pace Jr. You Ivan Pace Jr. really well. I'll throw him in there so we don't have to go back and say that again because I think I've done that 3 times. But you don't do a lot of things really well, but you do score points pretty well, and that is always going to be keeping you in contention. Because we can see even great defenses can have bad games, right? New York Jets, one of the best defenses in the league, regardless of what Bill Barnwell wants to say about them.
Yeah, I'm convinced he smokes crimes.
Yeah, but New York Jets, they've had bad games, right? They had that 30-10 game in week 2, so we've seen them not be so good. As long as you can score points, that matters. That lasts.
I just want it stated for the record that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Minnesota Vikings, or Los Angeles Rams are going to make the playoffs in the NFC, and the Buffalo Bills, Cleveland Browns, or New York Jets are going to be left out in the AFC. That doesn't sound right to me. That feels gross.
Wait, are you saying that's not fair?
No. I was going to say it was stupid. It's not really fair. This is what you signed up for, so I don't really care about fair. It's just really, really stupid. Mm-hmm. Because Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Detroit Lions is not exactly sending me to a television set.
Let's do it again.
Atlanta Falcons, San Francisco 49ers. Let's just hope Bijan Robinson doesn't have another headache.
Yeah, but the Vikings have a legit shot to make the playoffs.
No doubt.
And apparently they can buoy themselves without Justin Jefferson. We'll see how that goes down in the coming weeks as the number one cornerback coverage for his number one weapon now is going to get tougher over the next 4 weeks. Can they continue to do this? Because they can't do anything else. You can Kirk Cousins real well. You cannot run the ball.
Bobby Barnett, who is our resident Minnesota Vikings fan, said our season was a buzzsaw to start, but gosh, I'm glad it's over. Winnable games coming up, but I'm ready to get hurt again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the sign of a true fan. You know it's going to hurt, but you do it anyway because you love it.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Still on track for some absolutely beautiful weather over the next few days. Warming trend, average high this time of year, 67, 10-plus degrees above that, maybe as soon as Friday. The weekend looks great, maybe 80 degrees. Lots of sun today. Enjoy it at 73. Tonight, clear near 40. Tomorrow, sunny 75. Thursday, sunny 75. Friday, sunny near 80. And same thing for the weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. OMG, hot and crisp nacho fries are back, and there's even more fries to love now at Taco Bell. But it's now or never. Yeah, these fries covered in bold Mexican spices with nacho cheese sauce are only here for a limited time at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only, while supplies last.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the leader in regenerative medicine. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, We take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zack with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And it's time to get just a bit outside. And Jeremy, I know your next musical love. We don't all know it yet, but your next musical love is the K-pop girl group sensation Stacy. Yeah,
I understood every word you just said. I don't think you understand what my musical taste sound like.
No, you're all into the K-pop movement.
If it has the word pop in it, I'm out.
Apparently, there's a group called Stacy. It's Stayc, and that if you have, I guess, teenagers in your house, this is the next big BTS follow-up. The K-pop sensation group, the 6 girls. And they're just now getting a hit in the United States. Apparently, they've got a song out that is getting a lot of play, and they're on tour. So
is it as good as Girl You Know It's True by Milli Vanilli?
Probably not.
That documentary out on Paramount Plus right now, and I cannot wait to watch it.
Apparently, the song Teen Fresh is, as this says, storming up the charts in the United States.
Can I ask a question? And this is just it's a philosophical question from an old man.
Mm-hmm.
Why do people younger than me like things that suck so bad?
I have asked myself that question
every Taylor
a
Swift
lot.
song I've ever heard, why does anybody like that ear broccoli?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard the tune that you're referring to. The fact it's called Teen Fresh, I already hate it. Already hate it.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to find it and pull it up on this computer, but it's terrible, so I couldn't do that. So if you'd like to search it on your computer,
nope, because I'm afraid
that
if I search it, Google will think that's something I'm after, and it will change everything I do for the next 3 weeks.
Well, look, Stacy's got they have a record climbing the charts in the United States, and they're trying to get all of the fans on board, right? So they did that thing that all musicians do when you go to a town and you play there. You're going to try to give a little sop to the local community as you're going to wear their jerseys.
Oh, God,
right?
I see where this is headed.
So the K-pop teen idols showed up on stage in Texas, and who's hot right now in the state of Texas?
The Texas Rangers.
Yeah, that's right. And they decided...
God, they wore New York Ranger hockey jerseys. Oh, no.
Wrong.
Wait a minute, there's not another Rangers.
Yeah, there is. There's another Rangers. They went with the Glasgow Rangers Scottish soccer team. You missed it by, a whole bunch.
Wait a minute. So you went to Texas. Where did you say these girls are from?
They're from Korea.
Okay.
They're Korean.
Geography was not... It was not a strong suit.
Well, and I get, they're not really expected to know, I guess, but you would think that if you're gonna do this, you would just do something more than go to eBay or whatever and go Rangers jersey. And and that's what you ended up. They ended up with and not only was it, they were throwbacks, right? These were the throwback kits from the 1970s.
I would be remiss as the adamant adamant baseball hater that I am, that I don't take a little enjoyment that I know somebody somewhere searched Rangers jersey, and you got a Scottish soccer team before you got the Texas Rangers.
Well,
although, since we are talking about the Rangers, do it. Do it. Yeah! Creed 2-0 last night. Minnesota Vikings win. Texas Rangers win.
Wait. The Vikings are jumping on this now?
They've been on it. I've already told that story once. They've been listening to Creed in the locker room for a month. Guess what? In that month, 3-1. You know why? Because winners listen to Creed like me. I get it. You should too. Most underestimated band of the 20th century. It's not even close. Scott Stapp. Those other dudes.
Those other dudes. That was the best thing ever. Scott
Jake
Stapp
Ferguson and
those
Steve
guys.
Then Seagal and whatever their names are. Nobody knows. I could have made them up. You'd have never known the difference.
Josie Scott.
Nope.
Chad Kroger.
Nope. Just make up a name that sounds like two names that could be that. Brian Spencer. Bass player. Stephen Smith. Guitarist. that band could have been called Scott Stapp and the Boys, and it would have been just fine.
Yep.
Anyway, my story is about Saber Interactive. Have you ever heard of this this little upstart spunky franchise? It's a video game company, and they have put out a new video game. It's called Wild Card Football. They got Chris Berman to voice the teaser trailer. And they made a deal with the NFLPA, so they have actual real-life NFL football players in this game. Now, they did not make a deal with the NFL, so instead of the Philadelphia Eagles, you have Team Hurts. I'll never get why people do this. We're not buying your knockoff crap. Like, we're just not, especially not for $40. If this was a $1.99 mobile game, maybe I would consider to buy it so that I could play it whilst I pooped. But other than that, I'm good. I'm not spending 40 US doll hairs on your knockoff crap. Now, I didn't even have to dig that deep to see that they don't have NFL team names, because in the graphic for Wild Card Football, they have a slew of players. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, TJ Watt, Joey Bosa, Jamar Chase, Aaron Donald, Aiden Hutchinson, all stars in the NFL. Would you like to guess who they put on the front of the video game? Because all those guys are in the background.
Chris Berman.
No, it's more ridiculous than that.
Who?
Colin Kaepernick.
What?
So you went to the trouble of getting an NFLPA license, and then you put Colin Kaepernick in front of all of them, and you want me to think that that is a reputable video game of football enjoyment, which got me to thinking this is the movie equivalent of you're sitting at the movies and you see the trailer for the movie and you get, what's his name, Don Parda? No, Don Parda's the guy from Saturday Night Live.
Right.
That's Saturday Night Live.
Right. You're thinking of Dennis LaFontaine. Yeah.
And you
who's
get
dead.
him, and it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Will Smith, Tom Cruise, Chris Hemsworth, and Rick Moranis, starring Thunderstrike, coming this fall. Wait a minute. What?
Wait.
I have a question. Why did we put Rick Moranis on the front of that? 70% of people right now are going, who the hell's Rick Moranis? He's the little weaselly guy that kind of looks like a mouse. He got glasses. He was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And yes, if you've never seen that movie, every bit as stupid as it sounds.
I think everybody's seen that movie, Jeremy.
I have
there
not.
There aren't as many illiterate people as you.
I am not illiterate. I've learned many books. But you know what I don't make a habit of doing? Watching crappy movies or playing crappy video games, which is why Wild Card Football will not be in my listing of console choices.
Ooh, Kelvin Joyner, he's on it. He says that's Toy Story Football, the game. It did kind of look like that. In the trailer that I saw, it kind of looked like the little Toy Story guys from the Toy Story game.
Does it look like Peyton Manning's video board that he uses in the Manning cast? You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
I think I've seen him do that once. I don't remember what
I do love that little board. We go to Peyton and Eli, which, okay, could we stop with some of these guests? I mean, surely to God, you can do better than Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson came on last night and was 2 plays behind the game and didn't figure it out for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes. So Peyton and Eli are talking about this pass interference call. It was a good throw, nice attempt at the catch. It's PI. They're talking about this, and Klay Thompson goes, "Oh! Was that not the first thing we did? Make sure that, hey, you got this on DVR? Go to now. You should be watching it live."
Right.
Because you know what's worse than listening to 3 celebrities talk about football? Watching one of them do it 4 plays behind the rest of us. I can't watch Monday Night Football without Peyton and Eli.
Really?
No. Because the alternative is Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and I'm good.
Yeah. I haven't watched a Manning cast since the 3rd episode they did.
Which is weird because you hate Joe Buck more than anybody I know.
I loved the Manning cast at first, and then it just got real old real quick.
Oh, it's the only way I can watch it. When they don't have that, I watch it with the sound down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even have a problem with Joe Buck like you do. I just can't listen to it. And I don't even know what the difference is.
It's almost become Joe Buck has become Chris Collinsworth to me. I have heard that voice so long. It's kind of like how I treat my wife. I have heard that voice just shriek through my brain so much that now it's just a dull numbness. And now I can turn it on and just go, yeah, whatever, and go do my own thing.
If this was one of the random times that takes wife's listening to the show, you can send flowers to 13 different P.O. Box 1007, Asheville, North Carolina.
Just train your brain to annoy the things that annoy you. That's how I treat
So
Chris
you didn't see him
Collinsworth.
with Aaron Rodgers last night?
No.
Oh, it was fantastic.
No.
Aaron Rodgers' brain is just different.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I notice it now because he's the theoretical quarterback of my team.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane to listen to him call out plays, and of course he wound up on the little board of you predicted a play right, because of course he did.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the smartest quarterbacks that ever lived.
All right. Glad he finally gets the flowers now that he's got New York next to his name.
Of course he does. He's also going to have Super Bowl champion. He breaks that Joe Namath curse and gives Jeremy the greatest year of his life.
Oh, the hope.
Gets married, Denver Nuggets title, which we'll be raising that banner tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And Florida State national title, New York Jets Super Bowl.
Hope springs eternal, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all you have.
He's back.
It's all you have.
He's back.
I'm not screaming it yet. Now, Jets are still in the thick of the playoff race, and Aaron Rodgers shows back up. Whew, that's a side of me that I don't think you're prepared to see.
He's going to get so excited.
Oh,
which means the implosion is going to be beautiful. What's that? Chef's kiss.
Okay, stop stealing my lines. All right, come up with your own shtick.
No, I like using your lines against you.
Come up with your own shtick there, radio star.
It's a weird flex, bro, but okay.
You're going to figure out why I said that in about 2 minutes, and you're going to laugh for about 2 solid more.
All right, you are in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's got his bangers for the night coming up. Yeah, there's Coosa Tuesday.
It's Coosa Tuesday. And this is a 8-leg parlay Coosa Tuesday. Because I have my 2 favorite little money-making friends, New Mexico State and Diego Pavia, and the Liberty Flames. In fairness, though, this is actually a watchable night of football. Western Kentucky and Liberty, you could do worse. Malachi Corley. Just remember that name because we're going to say it a lot in the draft process.
Okay.
They throw a lot, and they throw to him a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Chris Olave got in trouble.
He did.
It's New Orleans
Stop
Saints.
driving cars.
New Orleans Saints wide receiver got caught doing 70 and a 35 in Kenner, Louisiana. Suspicion of reckless operation of a motor vehicle. It was in a mixed business residential area, which is always going to be a no-go.
Not good.
No.
Hey, NFL, maybe here's an idea. All right, you've partnered with Taylor Swift and Toy Story and Pixar and all this other crap. You know what you should partner with? Uber. Stop letting guys drive cars. Just here. This is Dave. Dave is your driver from now on. He drives a lovely Kia Sorento that's going to take you anywhere you want to go.
But what's the fun in that? Really?
I will never understand people that drive like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a motorcycle behind me last night when I left the studio. Traffic is backed up for probably a mile.
Yep.
And this guy, every time we move, is weaving in and out of traffic. I'm like, can you not see in front of you?
Yeah, where do you think you're going?
I mean, do you think you're going to get there faster somehow?
It was in a trafficked area, observed traveling at a high rate of speed, recklessly maneuvering between lanes and around other drivers on the roadway. Late at night, 70 and a 35 in a residential zone. That's not going to be good for Chris Olave. However, I mean, in the end, right, it's just a speeding infraction, so it's not really going to have an effect on the field or suspension from the league or anything like that.
No.
Just stop driving.
Stop driving cars like a lunatic. All right? Yeah. Just gas on the right, brake on the left, no bumping, and stay under that number that they post on the side of the road.
Right.
It's not that difficult.
There was also Justin Ross got in trouble. Another flag on the play for Justin Ross. As
that makes about 10 for a guy that's played 50 plays all year.
This one was off the field, though. He damaged some property around where he lives. There is no report other than he was booked into the jail, and he's charged with destruction of property. If we hear any details on that, we will give that to you. But wanted to get those out of the way because somebody had asked in the YouTube comments if we had talked about Chris Olave yet. There's no danger to
that's one of those. He's going
to
get a fine, and it'll be over.
Indeed.
He was probably speeding to go punch Derek Carr directly in the jejunum. I said, it looks like he wants to do that real bad.
He's just, you get to the point where you're just fed up, right? You just get fed up, and sometimes you can't do it anymore. They're in a rough spot in New Orleans. Because I think everybody hates everybody.
Name me the team in the NFC South that feels warm and fuzzy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tampa Bay fans do. We just had somebody in our Instagram comments say that playoff Baker, ring number 3 incoming. Holy good Lord. No. Does one wake up that delusional, or do you have to build to that?
Well, you have to work on it.
Okay.
You have to work on that kind of delusion over many, many years, and drugs. Lots of drugs.
Yeah, so
because I don't know how you get to that point.
I don't either. You just lost to the Atlanta Falcons, and you're telling me ring 3. Okay.
I mean, there's still people out there talking, all we got to do is go get a run game and we're going to be fine.
You know, I think I figured it out.
Ugh.
He wasn't talking about a Super Bowl ring. He was talking about visiting our friend Alan Shepard down at Alan's Jewelry and Pawn and picking up a lovely ring. It's a great place to find a holiday present. They do not sponsor us. I just really like Alan.
Yeah, because that's the only way Baker Mayfield's getting one of those, unless he gets to be the backup for a good team in a couple of years. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's got bangers for a Coosa Tuesday up next. The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With White Haze, Mean Green, Peach Perfect, and Scary Berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
OMG, hot and crisp nacho fries are back, and there's even more fries to love now at Taco Bell. But it's now or never. Yeah, these fries covered in bold Mexican spices with nacho cheese sauce are only here for a limited time at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only, while supplies last.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Careless debris burning is the leading cause of wildfires in North Carolina. Remember to keep your burn pile small, not tall, and never burn on dry, windy days or leave your fire unattended. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov. You are the best defense against wildfires.
Imagine a world where animals and humans coexist in harmony, where wild animals thrive, habitats are protected, and marginalized communities are empowered. At International Animal Rescue, this is our vision. Our holistic, community-led projects not only rescue animals, but also protect and replenish precious habitats, creating a better future for us all. But we can't do this without you. Show your support now and help keep the wild, wild. Visit internationalanimalrescue.org.
Sarles Garage and Service is your one-stop car care, offering alignments, oil changes, brakes, North Carolina inspections. Call 926-0385 to schedule your appointment with excellent customer service to handle all your automotive needs. Enjoy a delicious meal while you wait at J Creek Cafe. Michael Sarles Marathon, your one-stop shop servicing Waynesville and Maggie Valley.
Coffee still closes on.
Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
You know, there's a reason they call it gambling and not winning. Because every once in a while, you get in a game like last night, and the Minnesota Vikings come out and absolutely demolish the San Francisco 49ers in the first half, which is enough to push the over in the second half, and then San Francisco can't cover, and then Minnesota wins outright. Oh, you had that? I don't believe you. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. We try to get back on the winning track tonight with a Coosa Tuesday. We start New Mexico State at Louisiana Tech. New Mexico State's 2.5-point dog. I'm taking the Aggies outright, plus the 110. You know I love Diego Pavia. In the next hour, I'll probably give you a little taste of a parlay that has him in it as well. Louisiana Tech is not good at home. They're not good against the spread, and they're not good against the run. That leads me to believe this will go under the 54, and New Mexico State will win outright. Next, the Liberty Flames are a 5-point favorite on the road at Western Kentucky. This will be a great clash of styles because Western Kentucky cannot run the ball. They throw constantly. They also can't stop the run, which is all Liberty can do. I'm going under the 60.5. I don't see a way that you're going to see a Liberty team go over a number that high, even though they do run it very prolifically. I'm also taking Liberty minus the 5. They're just flat out the better team. They're already 7-0. I do think they're going to lose a game. I just don't think it's tonight. For more, find us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Still on track for some absolutely beautiful weather over the next few days. Warming trend, average high this time of year, 67, 10-plus degrees above that, maybe as soon as Friday. The weekend looks great, maybe 80 degrees. Lots of sun today. Enjoy it at 73. Tonight, clear near 40. Tomorrow, sunny 75. Thursday, sunny 75. Friday, sunny near 80. And same thing for the weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Some have said that rallying middle schoolers is a lot like herding cats. To the moms and dads out there who control the chaos and make herding cats look more like corralling kittens, we at Ingles tip our hats. Ingles, all the ingredients for family.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. The best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles studio.
ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy coming to you live from the Ingles studio. We're heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You can take us with you everywhere you go, and you can also watch us on your smart device on YouTube. You can go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat, get your thoughts in on today's Power Rankings, because it is a Power Rankings Tuesday. And as always, Jeremy, starting from the bottom, now we're here.
Number 32, the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, boy. Is turning the play calling duties over to Thomas Brown going to make any difference, you think?
I don't think it can hurt. I think Thomas Brown's a really good coach. The thing that will help is that the schedule leans out a little bit. You come off the bye week, you'd like to think that you're going to see a better version of Bryce Young. It got a little bit healthier. But, I mean, I look at the schedule and just go, this is a 3-14 team. Mm-hmm. You're going to have given up the number 1 pick in the draft. Now you don't have a first-round pick. So as we do power rankings today, for the bottom 8 teams, we will be giving you a player that they should be looking to trade ahead of the trade deadline, which is 1 week from today.
Mm-hmm.
And Carolina's, to me, is the most abundantly obvious of any team in the league. It's Brian Burns. It's Brian Burns. You go to the Rams, you say, hey, that 2 first-round picks thing, that's still on the table? Because if it is, we're all the way in. Because they need a pass rusher badly on the opposite side of Aaron Donald. And Brian Burns at this point is just a luxury that you can't afford. You need draft capital. You have a horrific deficit talent-wise. I mean, there are times I look at this team and go, you are playing a slew of guys that don't belong in this league.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I don't think anybody would be off limits to me. If somebody came with a reputable offer for Derek Brown, I would listen. Obviously, Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu, Dante Jackson.
Jeremy Chin.
Jeremy Chin's on IR.
Oh, that's right. He can't be traded because he's on IR.
Yeah, Jeremy Chin's on IR. So,
yeah, that's the only piece you have.
I mean, and he would have been available if he wasn't on IR. But you can't trade guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would be looking for that 2 first-round picks, even if one of them was conditional. You made a mistake last year not doing this. And I can't imagine with this is a team that has the second least draft capital in the NFL going into next year, which is a special draft.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get back in that first round somehow. And Brian Burns is the only guy that's going to do it. The line's bad. You're going to need a left tackle because Ike Makwanu's not it. But there are pieces that you can at least look at and go, all right, we figured out Akwanu's not a left tackle. He's a guard. That will help us run down the line, but we got to have somebody to play left tackle.
But does that put us too far behind? Like, I mean, we're already the worst team in the league, right? We're already at number 32 in these
Well, look,
power
Scott
rankings.
Fitter is not going to be the one making these calls anyway.
True.
Somebody is going to get axed for you gave up the number 1 pick in the best draft I've ever evaluated for Bryce Young, who through half of a season is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think he will be fine, but this team's just not nearly good enough.
Okay.
You jumped in line, you made a mistake, and now somebody's going to have to fix it.
Yep.
And I think it should be Fitterer here at the deadline. I would be calling every team in the league. There is no team that is not going to at least consider it. Andrew Ayer said, I don't think they can get a first for Burns. I can tell you definitively they can get a first.
Yes.
They've been offered a first. They want 2. And the fact that it leaked out of L.A., that they offered 2 last year, you almost can't settle for less.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's practically the only franchise player you have left outside of Bryce. He's one of the only guys that's, and I'm not saying that it's important that he's selling jerseys, he's one of the only people that are keeping butts in the seats.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can get really ugly when you trade that guy. Look at what happened with McCaffrey last year. You can't take 75 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
Even though you probably should, the fact that leaked,
yeah,
you can't.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't do that. Because at this point, he is the biggest star that they have.
I
know you got a rookie quarterback, but Brian Burns is that team.
Now, in terms of teams that might look to do it, Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks are the first team I'd call.
Mm-hmm.
With them losing Nwosu for the year with the pectoral injury, they're going to need a pass rusher. They're going to be picking at the back end of the first round, and they have a lot of young talent.
Yep.
So that would be my first call.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville number 31.
The Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Hey!
You got to win.
You beat the Packers.
Good job.
Good for you. You're still horrifically bad. I mean, horrific, hard to wrap your head around bad.
Mm-hmm. And you have loose pieces.
Denver has more, I believe, tradable assets than probably anybody in the league. From everything I've been told, they have really stupid price tags on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Cortland Sutton has never looked like that guy again coming off the injury. He's probably worth a mid-round pick, maybe a 4. Jerry Jeudy, he is still younger, and there are people that still believe in him. I keep hearing Carolina, you don't need to be trading draft picks. You need to be accumulating them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you already have very few of them. You need more.
But we need a wide receiver.
Not that bad. Hey, go draft one in this draft with picks that you get from Brian Burns. It's a great draft for receivers.
Mm-hmm. There are quite a few pieces that they could use to accrue some draft capital here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that they're gonna. I don't know that they're shopping dudes.
No. I know they're shopping the receivers because they have been for 2 years. There just haven't been any there really haven't been any interested parties.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jeudy's been a horrible disappointment. I think at some point you have to go, this is not a Sean Payton guy. And for the 5th week in a row, I am here screaming, Jared Stidham time needs to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know you beat the Packers. I don't care. All right, it ain't going to take that long before the Packers appear on this screen.
It does not matter when you beat up on bad teams. And this team is terrible. You might be able to they're not getting rid of anybody. I'm just going to we shouldn't even talk about it cuz I don't think Sean Payton thinks that there's a problem.
Oh,
I think he thinks that they could still fix this thing.
I don't agree with you at all. I think he wants to completely overhaul that roster. The problem is that there were so many mistakes by George Payton, so much missed draft capital, that you almost have to get 110% just to rebuild the roster. It's hard to tap out on a guy that you took in the top 15 that you said was going to be your next dynamic weapon and then get a 5th-round pick for him, which is
where you're at.
It's about what he's worth. Somebody taking a flyer.
Yep. Number 30.
The New York Football Giants. It's, I believe, worth talking about that you can't bench Daniel Jones for Tyrod Taylor, right?
No. You can't. You just paid him $40 million. You can't do that.
And I totally understand that. What happens if Daniel and everything I've heard is Daniel Jones is trending on coming back this week. What happens when he gets eviscerated by the Jets in your stadium? The Jets are little brother to the Giants. They have been for 40 years. What happens when they come in here and absolutely just beat your brains out?
Same old song and dance, right? I mean, we've been here before. It's not. I don't think it changes anything. I really don't think anybody's going to look at Tyrod Taylor and go, yeah, he needs to be the starting quarterback of this team. I mean, you just beat the Washington Commanders.
If the contract wasn't the issue, like if Daniel Jones was on a 1-year deal,
if it was all even,
Tyrod Taylor would 100% be the starter.
No doubt.
Because they're no doubt better with him.
No doubt. I don't disagree with that, but you're not doing that. You can't take that away from him. And I know that sounds really weird and it's not fair talk, but that's not. You can't send that message to the fan base. You have to try to salvage this at every stage.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all.
Really?
The fan base would relish you sending this message. The problem is the ownership is not going to relish it. Because do you know what the dead cap hit on Daniel Jones would be after this season?
Probably sizable.
$70 million. 69.3 to be fair.
There you go.
They cannot get out of this for 2 years.
No, he's not going anywhere.
So he's going to be on the roster, and you have to try to make it work somehow. The problem that I see for the Giants is that I don't know who exactly you're supposed to beat. I mean, yeah, you played with the Bills. That doesn't unwind the fact that you have one of the most god-awful offensive lines I've ever seen. And in the next 4 weeks, you play the Jets, Raiders, Cowboys, and Commanders. Eep. That's full of Ralph Wiggum just, I'm in danger. There is a part of me that thinks you trot Daniel Jones out there just to go, hey, Tyrod, he got dead.
Oh, you're talking about the because of the pressure that they can apply.
Yeah, your offensive line's terrible. It's beaten senseless, and you've got the litany of Jets guys, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, who is in no mood for shenanigans.
Right.
It's not going to go well. Now, in terms of players that the Giants could look to offload, there's not many. There's not really many because you're so young. Adoree Jackson, I guess.
But at best, or what are you getting out of him, a 4?
Yeah, something like that. And he's worth more than that to the Giants.
I would agree.
This is a team that has to get, healthy. Because there's a possibility that they're going into this week with the Jets more beat up than they were last week. And shoo, buddy, that will not go well.
You just don't have, to me, you don't have a lot of pieces that are going to bring you anything.
No.
Right?
Well, I mean, you have pieces that would bring you things. It's just they're building block pieces of your franchise.
What would they give you for Leonard Williams? Is that
Leonard
the one?
Williams is probably the one because he is an older guy.
Right. Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, you could probably get something out of them.
Well,
but
Dexter
you're not
Lawrence
doing
is
that.
still young.
Yeah.
Leonard Williams, they could totally do. Leonard Williams is on.
Was he 28?
He is 29.
29, okay.
I could see it with Leonard Williams.
I just don't feel
but
like.
Good Lord, if you think that defense is bad now, wait till you see it without Leonard Williams.
No kidding. All right, number 29.
The New England Patriots. But, and I can hear this, I know it's coming. But we just beat the Bills. Yeah, that doesn't unwind what I saw before that. You're still not good. I mean, I hope that you didn't get the misgiving that all of a sudden you had fixed all of these things.
No.
No, the Buffalo Bills were actually that bad.
But this is where we saw the opportunity where Matt can be the guy with the ball in his hands at the end of the game, and he can win us one. Because that's what we saw. Like, that's what Patriots fans' hearts saw. We
not
saw
any of
him
the ones
take
I
a
have
step
seen.
forward.
I have not seen any of that
Really?
delusion, which I am super proud of.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it came from our fans. I'm saying I've seen this out there of, oh, see, look, Mac, it just takes time, right?
Well, you play at the Dolphins this week, so that hope's going to go away real fast.
No doubt.
Real fast.
Mm-hmm.
The piece that they have that I would be looking to move would be probably Jalen Mills. I think there are teams that would give you something for him.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of have the same problem that the Giants do. All of the pieces that anybody would want are so young that you're not going to come off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the vets on this team are comical. You could try to trade Kendrick Bourne, but I'm telling you, receivers in this league just do not have the value.
No, nobody's giving you anything. I'll give you a
You would
6.
have to get a team that is super desperate for help right now because they think they're in a Super Bowl window. There aren't many of those. Kansas City, but they're really happy with what they have.
I'll give you a 5th, and you give me a 6th.
And that's kind of where it sits, and he's your best weapon.
And I'll take all your 7s for the next 4 years because I am Bill Belichick, and I do that.
Now, if somebody would give you a bag of footballs for Juju Smith-Schuster, you should do that, but nobody's going to.
No.
Because you need to get DeMario Douglas out on the field. You need to see if you have anything in Malik Cunningham.
Mm-hmm.
It's full on time to we're on to next year because this is not going well, and it's not going to change.
Yeah, you got to explore the options for the next 2 years of Bill Belichick. Was that a real thing? Did they sign him into a 3-year deal?
They did, but when you say lucrative, people hear coaching contract, they think player contract, that there's all these guarantees. They're not. It changed really nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The timing was interesting.
Right, like why would that come out as everybody's talking about firing you?
Oh, I can tell you exactly why that came
Bill put it out.
There you go.
Of course he did.
Who wants you to know that?
Mm-hmm. I just signed for 3 more years.
a long-term deal. I'm here for the long haul. That was Bill getting out in front of the narrative of I'm not walking away voluntarily at all.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a funny feeling all of your good spirits off that Buffalo win, they're going to go away quickly this week against the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Not going to go well for you. Number 28 in the Week 8 Power Rankings. We'll give it to you up next here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Hold on. We're getting there. And go. Nope. Still not working. Well, this is fun. And how about now?
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing. the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RACE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RACE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RACE.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumping a bag of hammers.
Back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Power Rankings Tuesday. Leaving off at, number 28 for Week 8.
The Chicago Bears.
Hey, Tyson Bagent. Is he a thing?
Well, he's going to be for another week. And Chicago, right after the show yesterday, Matt Eberflus basically said exactly what I did without saying it.
What's that?
Tyson Bagent is going to play this week.
Mm-hmm.
So Justin Fields is doubtful. And I don't think it's that untoward to say that you see what you got in Tyson Bagent. If he goes in and beats the Chargers in L.A., and I understand that's not a home field advantage. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
If he goes in and beats L.A., and then you look at their upcoming schedule with the Saints, the Panthers, 2 at the Lions, the Vikings, you close out with the Cardinals, Falcons, and Packers, I don't think you can go back to Justin Fields. And people will say, oh, but he was playing well. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He had one decent game against the Commanders where they forgot DJ Moore was on the field. Other than that, do you not remember Minnesota? That's the game he got hurt in, where he had been an absolute abject disaster. He had a 9 QBR. He'd been awful. If I'm Chicago, I seriously consider just, you know what? Justin's hurt. We're going to put him on the short-term IR, see what we got with Tyson Bagent, make sure he's really healed, which is a safe way of saying, well, we're going to wind up with the number 1 pick from the Panthers anyway, and neither one of you are going to be the quarterback. Right. We don't think. Bagent has a shot. Fields has no shot.
I was going to say Bagent has a shot at being the backup next year.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, he has a shot to be the starter. Look, it's not that unheard of because he did. If this team was really good defensively, then I could make the argument that what he did could potentially be sustainable. The problem is that you're going to – how I think this is going to go is that you're coming up against the Chargers this week. Your defense is not good enough to stop Justin Herbert, and they're going to boat race you. And then the Bagent thing goes away. You bring back Fields. You run out the string. And basically the second that game is over, you start making calls on, hey, Eddie Jackson is available because he is almost 30 years old. He is not part of when this team will be good, and he's still worth something. And he hasn't played in almost a month. The team's still not good. Yeah. I don't care what you did to the Raiders.
No, they're not.
Trust me, you're not going to have to wait long to hear the Raiders either.
Yeah, they're not good at all. I just think that I hear what you're saying about Tyson Bagent. I just still don't think they'll ever do it.
I don't agree with you in any way.
Yeah.
This is just, it's not a front office that is tied to Justin Fields because they know these picks are coming.
Mm-hmm.
If they're dead set, whether it's Drake May or Caleb Williams, you're going to have access to him because you're going to have 2 picks in the top 10.
Yeah. I mean, as far as playing Fields for the rest of the season.
Well, that's the thing. I don't have to play the game with Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
And you're actually hurting his trade value every time you trot him out there. Every 9 QBR he has, more teams are going, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I've always said Atlanta made sense for Fields. Yeah, I'm not even sure at this point that Arthur Smith wouldn't look at this and go, I don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Number 27.
The Green Bay Packers.
Well, that was fun. That was fun while it lasted for me.
Tapes out on Jordan Love.
I mean, I still had a little bit of hope.
Tapes out on Jordan Love.
Yeah.
It's not hard to figure out. People call these sophomore slumps. No, it's when I've got 6 to 8 to 10 games of tape on a guy. The things you can't do become very obvious, and he cannot press the ball down the field.
Mm-hmm.
He can't do it. He tries to, but he can't. He is not your solution at quarterback. The Green Bay Packers need a quarterback, period. I don't care that you signed him to the extra 1 year. He is not good at this. He did the dink and dunk thing with the occasional deep shot, and that worked. Until teams figured out you can't read the most basic of defense, just like you couldn't at Utah State, just like we told you when he was coming out of the draft. Now, it's tank and tank aggressively.
Yep. You put a lot of faith into him. You went ahead and gave him the extra year, just to take that off his plate, so he didn't have to worry about it throughout the season. And he hasn't performed for you.
Well,
I think it's clear.
The NFC North has had a fun habit here over the course of this year of flip-flopping that team in the middle. We've known the Bears were the worst team in this division. The Vikings and the Packers have been playing hopscotch with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're on, Minnesota could have a shot. Because this week the Vikings get the Packers. But then the Packers go Rams, Steelers, Chargers, Lions, Chiefs. You're not winning not nary one of those games, and you're going to get obliterated in, I'll say, at least 2 of them,
mm-hmm.
which puts you at 2-10 before the schedule leans back out and the season's over.
Yeah.
But the good thing, if you're a Packer fan, you have a lot of young talent. And when you have a quarterback, you'll probably be just fine. But you don't.
Mm-hmm. Problem is, when you're going to get that quarterback, right? Are you going to get one in the draft next year? There's a bunch of them. Right, there's a Michael Penix out there that you might be able to get to. Who knows?
Look, this is a spot that if I was Caleb Williams or Drake May, Green Bay, come get me. I want to throw to Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs and Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave, Dontavian Wicks, who's had a role. Those are weapons. I'm good with that. And you've got line pieces that are fine. Obviously you need a left tackle because David Bakhtiari can't be counted on anymore. But I'm looking.
Yeah.
If I'm Green Bay, I am evaluating these quarterbacks. I am finding the one I'm in love with, and I am going to go get that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got an extra second-round pick as capital if you need to move around.
Yep.
Rasul Douglas would be the player I'd be looking to move. Corners are at a premium right now because there's so few on the market. And he's not good. He's had to play.
He's been graded well, though, hasn't he?
He's graded well at times, but if you watch the tape, you take Jair Alexander off the field and shoo, buddy. Because Jair needs no help. Jair can do it by himself, so he's got that safety over the top, which makes him look way better than he is. And you got a desperate team, they could look at him and go, that's a vet. We could use that. That's better than whatever it is we're trotting out here right now.
Number 26.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Kyler Murray coming back at some point.
Yes, and I'll reiterate what I said yesterday. The one thing that I have learned from our little Caleb Williams viral thing, which that was a fun ride. It's still happening to a degree, is the people in those comments were right. Kyler Murray does deserve a shot with a real-life NFL head coach. And Jonathan Gannon is a real-life NFL head coach. Cliff Kingsbury was not. He was a fictitious pretty boy with a nice house and a gorgeous fiance that doesn't understand the NFL game. You got fired in college for a reason because you're not very good at this. So I do want to see Kyler for the rest of the year. I have changed my tune on that.
Okay.
Josh Dobbs has a role. He's the backup long term, no matter what you do.
Absolutely.
But I need to get a really good feel for what Kyler Murray is in this offense.
Mm-hmm. Josh Dobbs is the Colt McCoy, Tyrod Taylor, longest line of backup quarterbacks that you can keep around. He's a solid piece.
100%,
no
and
doubt.
he's been very serviceable.
Absolutely. Way better than I thought he was going to be.
No doubt.
In this position. So kudos to him.
That would make me feel really warm and fuzzy about Monty Ossenfort, too.
But I've always thought it was kind of ridiculous, the thought that, well, we'll just roll with Dobbs. No, you won't. You're playing Kyler, and if anything, you need Kyler to be out there if you're going to put him on the trade market. I've always thought. But
I don't disagree with that.
But, I think you're spot on. Like, he'll come back. It'll make a little bit of a difference. You'll win a couple of games here and there.
Don't want to win too many, though.
No, but in the end, you're going to end up with one of those top draft picks next year.
Your goal is to end up with 2 top 10 to top 15 picks that you can add talent to this roster.
Mm-hmm.
If I could get draft capital out of Buda Baker or Hollywood Brown, I'm doing it.
Good thing is looking at the rest of the schedule for the Arizona Cardinals, there's only 2 or 3 games that they could screw around and win anyway.
Yes.
So that's good for
I
them.
want to see improvement. I want to see Michael Wilson. I want to see Rondell Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Ertz just went on IR, so I want to see Trey McBride.
Yep.
I want to see this young line. I want to see it evolve. I need to figure out who the players are for next year because I got a very safe coach that has played – this team has played better than I thought. So I just want to see growth. Where did I hit? Where did I miss? What do I need in this elite draft class?
Yep. And number 25.
The Tennessee Titans.
Wait, who are you shopping for Arizona?
Hollywood Brown or Buda Baker.
Okay.
If you can get decent capital for them, I would be willing to listen.
All right, and number 25, the Tennessee Titans.
Well, they already shopped one of the players that I would have been shopping. That was Kevin Byard, and they did it yesterday.
Yes. He's now with Philadelphia Eagles.
By the way, they didn't get enough for him. He's a 30-year-old safety. They got plenty.
Mm-hmm.
They got plenty, and they got a cheap deal out of Terrell Edmonds because I actually thought his deal was bigger than it was.
Right.
It's only $2 million.
Because they got Terrell Edmonds and a 4 and a 5, right?
5 and a 6.
A 5 and a 6. Okay.
That's good value for a guy that's on the wrong side of 30.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think he's a high-level piece for Philadelphia. He was doing nothing for Tennessee. You want to know how bad Tennessee is? They don't expect Ryan Tannehill to play this week. Who is the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans this week?
Malik Willis.
You're half right.
Will Levis.
You're also half right. Put those two halves together, and you're correct. They're planning on playing them both.
Oh, nice.
Which, to me, is dumb unless you're planning on running Malik Willis out of some kind of wildcat to alleviate the pressure off Levis. I know exactly what Malik Willis is. There is no learning. There is no growing. He is god-awful as an NFL quarterback. He is fast. End of message. Repeat the line. I'm to the point with Tennessee. This season has gone so poorly. Now I would be looking at Derrick Henry. I wouldn't be averse to listening on Jeffrey Simmons. There's no vet on this roster that I'm not going to at least listen on.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City Chiefs, you still interested in DeAndre Hopkins? He can be yours for the low price of something. I mean, I would like to keep some weapons for Will Levis to see in the second half of the year what I've got, but it's not going to be good. This is going to be trial by fire, and it's not going to look great. Get the draft capital while you can.
Yep. This team is not competitive, and it is not going well for Mike Vrabel and company.
If you thought it was bad before, wait till you see 2 quarterbacks at the same time.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, Power Rankings Tuesday here for Week 8 in the NFL. We will continue after the break.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Still on track for some absolutely beautiful weather over the next few days. Warming trend, average high this time of year, 67, 10-plus degrees above that, maybe as soon as Friday. The weekend looks great, maybe 80 degrees. Lots of sun today. Enjoy it at 73. Tonight, clear near 40. Tomorrow, sunny 75. Thursday, sunny 75. Friday, sunny near 80. And same thing for the weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. Seems like COVID's everywhere again, but there's good news from Pfizer. This season's updated COVID-19 shots are now available for ages 6 months and up, and they're designed to better protect against recent variants. Ask your pharmacist or doctor and schedule at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is CEOs You Should Know, a short conversation with local business leaders around Western North Carolina. This month, we sat down with Andy Marthaler from Marthaler Jewelers. And Andy, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what made you choose Western North Carolina as is a place to open a business.
Well, I think Asheville chose me. I moved here from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, about 20 years ago, and met my wife once I moved here, Tanya, and she's a native and a local of Mills River and Asheville, and worked at a few other places, and had a great customer and an angel investor give me the opportunity to open a local business and a local store, and to be able to create jobs and have a community that really supports independently owned and local made businesses, which is fantastic.
To hear more of our conversation with Andy Marthaler from Marthaler Jewelers, just go to our station website and look for CEOs You Should Know in the audio archive.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned at one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
The Sportsocracy.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and it is a Power Rankings Tuesday, Week 8 in the NFL. So we told you who the bottom 8 needs to be shopping around the league. Now, the next 16 teams, it's all about, are you a buyer or a seller as we approach the NFL trade deadline, which is 1 week from today. That's also Halloween.
Yes.
Which is frightening to me. The years just keep going by so fast. And
well, you're old.
Well, it's one of those things.
You got me by a presidential term and a half, so I can still say that. Although I have learned from social media, I either look 25 or 106. There's really not been any in between.
What do you mean?
I've been called old about 100 times, and I've been told I was too young to know what I was talking about 100 times.
Okay.
And I went, that's maddeningly inconsistent.
Yes. You are. Wow. You are maddeningly inconsistent.
So is the internet.
It is.
So is the internet. I'm going to start, I think with all the social media things, I'm going to start giving out an award. And I'm gonna draw it up. It'll be a sweet little certificate that some people will get to hang on their wall, and it just says, "Congratulations, you said the dumbest thing on the internet today. You said the dumbest thing on a place where people go to say dumb things."
Can the first one go to that Bucks fan that said we were getting the 3rd ring this year with Baker?
Who do you think gave me the idea?
Yes, thank you, thank you. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not too far away here on the power rankings for Week 8. Number 24,
the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's too high.
It's
still too high.
Who in the world are they supposed to be behind?
All of them. They're terrible.
Your
awful.
Raider hatred gets on my nerves.
I was just bathing in it though this weekend. Watching the Chicago Bears just thump the Las Vegas Raiders just made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside. Because this team is terrible.
Don't worry, Raider fans. He just projects because he knows his team is every bit as bad as the Raiders, if not worse.
Oh, we would dog walk them.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. You're not going to dog walk anybody with Baker freaking Mayfield.
We'll dog walk you by 2 points. Yeah, no, you're right. Anyway,
but the
Las Vegas Raiders are awful.
The Raiders, if Jimmy Garoppolo's not going to play, it's got to be Aiden O'Connell.
Mm-hmm.
You need to see what you've got in him because Jimmy Garoppolo ain't it, and Brian Hoyer definitely ain't it. If I'm the Raiders, I'm an aggressive seller. I'd be looking to recoup some value out of Devontae Adams because that is the one receiver that could potentially be on the market that I think high-level contenders would pony up assets for.
Yep.
In spite of the bad drop. I would also be looking to move Hunter Renfrow. If you're not going to use him, there is no reason for him to be on this roster. Defensively, you don't really not much there that people are going to be interested in.
Right.
Marcus Peters is a one-year rental, I suppose.
And what about Max?
No, God, no.
No?
No, Max Crosby's my franchise player. I'm not coming off him.
Okay.
I want to see him grow with Tyree Wilson and hope I can put something on the other side of him. By the way, I do like.
So there's hope here, but no hope in Carolina. I'm just trying to figure out like where the line is here because you were talking about they need to get rid of Brian Burns to start it all over. I would say that this team needs to start all over again.
The Raiders are exponentially ahead of the Carolina Panthers right now. Exponentially ahead of the Carolina Panthers.
Okay. In what respect?
Roster for name me a position group where Carolina's better. I'll wait. Oh, wait, there ain't one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you want to hear the list again? Guys, I just read it to you. And I've actually done it 20 times since because there ain't one.
Uh-huh.
Maybe linebacker with Frankie Louvu, which might be the most irrelevant position on the roster. No, the problem with the Raiders, you're in the AFC. If the Raiders were in the NFC, and I mean every word of what I'm going to say, they're a playoff team in the NFC because they're better than the Minnesota Vikings. I hate that I have them behind them. But you did just beat a really good team.
Interesting. Okay.
And yes, I did watch them play the Bears before anybody asked me. I saw it. I saw an offense that got really in love with throwing it to Devontae Adams, got completely away from Josh Jacobs, and was horrifically one-dimensional.
Yep.
Their biggest problem is Josh McDaniels.
Yes.
You've got to get away from that. That was a horrid mistake.
Yep. All right, number 23.
Speaking of horrid mistakes, the Washington Commanders hiring Eric Bieniemy was a horrid mistake.
Why is that?
Because he apparently doesn't understand that if I keep sticking 5-man fronts out there, Sam Howell is going to die. There's so much talent on this team, and it is infuriating to me how bad they are at times because they're maddeningly inconsistent. Receiving core, A. You've got a legit 1, a legit 2, and one of the best 3s in the league.
Okay.
You don't have a tight end. You get away from the run way too easily. And the line is an atrocity.
The problem is they don't have a fix for it.
No, because it's what happens when you don't invest anything in your offensive line for this extended period of time.
Right. We're going to keep trotting Sam Cosmi out there, and it's going to be just fine. No, it's not. I feel like you've worked yourself into this.
I do love that you said the only one that's actually been good.
Has he been?
Yes.
I have no idea.
You said the only lineman on this team that's actually been good.
It's the only name that I can remember.
Andrew Wiley and Charles Leno's been fine. He's just been hurt. And then you get to the backup tackle, and it's awful. Nick Gates has been terrible. Sadiq Charles has been terrible. But, I mean, that's the thing. You got a slew of guys here that were either free agents off the trash heap or guys that use mid-round draft picks on. Why are you surprised? This would be like buying a Maserati, which is what you've done with the receiving core. I love Sam Howell, what you invested in the running backs, and you didn't insure the car. You don't even have a tight end on this roster that can actually block. It'd be like buying a Maserati and getting, what is that one insurance that everybody has to have, collision?
Yeah, collision.
Yeah, that's what you did. There's no full coverage. If you wrap it around a telephone pole, it's just chest keys.
Yeah.
Gone.
There it is.
And just to be clear, I do still believe in Sam Howell, but I am getting more worried by the second that you are David Carring this kid. When I see his name sandwiched between David Carr, who was one of the first quarterbacks I ever evaluated, yes, I was in high school. Yes, I was a nerd. Sorry. I remember how much he regressed every single week, and I'm seeing it out of Saint.
Yep.
I'm seeing less of the spark plays. I'm seeing less of the high-level throws. I'm seeing a kid that is scared to death he is going to get hit on every single play.
Because he's gonna. He's been sacked 40 times in the first few weeks of the season. It's crazy.
If I'm Washington, I'm a seller, and I think you have to sell either Chase Young or Montez Sweat.
Yes.
You only have one franchise tag, and they're both free agents this year, and you cannot lose them for nothing.
Yep. And you also have to fire your head coach.
No doubt.
Yes. Ron Rivera's days need to be over in Washington. I don't know who you turn it over to, but anything would be better because I mean, did you see Jonathan Allen after that game?
I did.
Yeah, things are getting.
I did. He was rather displeased.
Things are getting testy down there. Number 22,
the New Orleans Saints. This is one of the toughest evaluations in the NFL to me because I don't know whether I want to say buyer or seller.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of pieces that would probably fetch you quite a bit. You also could be a buyer and probably be the best team in this division.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line's been killed. You've played a mishmash of lines in front of Derek Carr, and it's getting worse by the week.
Yep. But the problem is, if you're a buyer, what's the piece?
I don't know that there is one.
That's
where
problem.
It gets into. That's where it gets into the problem for me.
That's why I have to be a seller.
To me, the difference, the reason that the Saints and the Commanders are right on top of each other, I think they're the same team. You're a team that has defensive pieces, but the defense doesn't live up to its billing way too often.
Mm-hmm.
You have a quarterback that I kind of believe in.
Mm-hmm.
You have weapons that I really believe in. And you have a line that may very well get that quarterback killed.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same team, and I could not differentiate them to save my life.
Number 21.
Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Fire them cannons. Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, some of them, many of them, want to believe
out of their minds.
Want to believe that this team should be a seller, or should be a buyer at the trade deadline because all we need is a running game and then Baker Mayfield's going to be just fine. No, he's not. Stop it. I've been trying to tell you, warn everybody in the fantasy shows, stop it with the Rashad White thing. That's going nowhere. If they didn't prove that to you this past week, then you're just never going to learn and you deserve everything you get. They cannot run the ball to save their lives. And Baker Mayfield is not that good of a quarterback.
No.
All the team has to do is just drop guys. Drop guys into coverage, and he can't do anything. I mean, he can pick up a play or two. That 31-yard rush was a lot of fun watching, wasn't it? In the end, what's it get you? You're not competing for wins.
No. You're going to keep beating bad teams and losing to good ones.
You need to be a seller.
Let's just for argument's sake, let's say you made the playoffs. Name me a team in the NFC that's going to make it as a wild card, because the only way Tampa Bay's getting in is win the division.
Mm-hmm.
Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Name me the wild card team that you actually, honest to God, think you can beat. Is it the Dallas Cowboys?
Mm-mm.
You're out of your mind.
Mm-mm.
Is it the Seattle Seahawks? You're out of your mind. Then what is the point? You win a horrific division, you're gifted a playoff spot, and you get beat 38-3 on your home field.
Yep.
Because that's how that will go.
Yes, because you get the number one wild card.
Yeah.
Right? As the worst team.
And then you're in the same boat next year, having to play that fun, hey, let's try it with Baker Mayfield again game. He's a mediocre quarterback that can beat bad teams.
Yep.
That's what he is.
Yep.
The difference between Dak Prescott and Baker Mayfield is that I've actually seen Dak beat a good team every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Baker never does.
Go sell.
And I got to say this, too, just because so many people said this. The year that he led the Browns to the playoffs, A, roster, way better. B, schedule, one of the worst in the league. C, you went into a playoff game where Pittsburgh was down 14-0 before they'd run 5 plays. Then what happened? Oh, you got beat by a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Because they had a better quarterback.
Sell off whatever you can. Mike Evans, you're gonna. I mean, he's already done, right? He's already said, "I'm not signing back with this team."
Oh, he didn't say he wouldn't sign back.
No,
he said he's not doing it during the season.
Yeah, but he's going to test the waters, right? He's going to be out there unless they want to give him all the money in the world, and I don't know that that's going to happen. I mean, he's having a hell of a season to pay him, but trade him. Trade him now.
Hey, if this is not your first power rankings, I bet you can guess who comes in next.
Number 20.
The Atlanta Falcons. I'm just going to sandwich you three together, and you know what? We'll move you depending on who wins.
Yep.
And when good teams do, or when bad teams do good things, they're going to elevate over you, and then I'll still keep you together.
Mm-hmm.
But if you beat each other, I'll flip you around like a Rubik's Cube.
Yep. Atlanta Falcons got the win this past week. They take first place in the division, and they'll be able to win some games like that.
They should be a buyer on their own players. Hey, stop giving it to Tyler Algier 400 times a game. You drafted a running back at 8.
Mm-hmm.
I understand he had a little head boo-boo, and you're probably going to lose a draft pick over that because you didn't tell anybody.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, there's a full-on investigation into that. You can't have a guy that you know. What killed me about this is as soon as this came out of Arthur Smith's mouth, I went, yeah, you do realize you're not allowed to do that, right? Because they said he had a migraine on Saturday, and they didn't know if he would be up, but they thought he would be. Doesn't matter.
You have to list him.
Doesn't matter if you 100% unequivocally know he's going to play. You have to list that he's dealing with something. And there's 2 reasons for that. 1, Tampa Bay's defensive game plan probably would have changed. 2, gamblers wouldn't have touched this. It's 2 huge parts of this league is being completely transparent with your opponent and being completely transparent with gamblers. They're going to lose a draft pick over that, and they should.
Yep. Number 19.
The Minnesota Vikings.
We just saw them on Monday Night Football, and it was a surprise to everybody, I think, that they beat the San Francisco 49ers. They did it without Justin Jefferson. Now what? Are we buying? Are we selling? What do we need to do?
It depends on what you're after. If you're trying to be good for the long haul, you sell. But you really can't sell off now because you're clearly the second best team in your division. I'm not even going to say a dark horse. You have a legit shot at the playoffs, but I don't think you should be buying either. To me, you're a stand pat. You're a mid-tier team that's going to stay mid-tier, and you're going to bring Kirk Cousins back next year, and guess what? You'll be the same thing all over again.
All right, number 18.
The Indianapolis Colts.
That was an interesting one.
They're an interesting team.
How do you do that? How does this team keep doing this every now and then kind of thing?
This is the most interesting team in the NFL to me. Because none of it makes a whole lot of sense. The secondary is terrible. The offensive line is terrible. But Anthony Richardson looked reasonably good. He didn't complete a lot of passes, but he looked really dynamic.
Right.
And Gardner Minshew just ate alive the best defense we had seen through 6 weeks of an NFL season in 50 years. I don't get it. I don't really think that here's the only thing I can say. Shane Steichen's a really good coach. I know definitively you have the coach. I think there's a possibility you have the quarterback. I didn't see enough of him. Now you have Michael Pittman's played like a number 1 wide receiver. Alec Pierce played like a 2.
Yep.
Josh Downs has been an elite slot receiver. And you got Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah. Now you got Jonathan coming back into the mix here. You've got a dangerous-ish offense.
The thing about Indianapolis is that you're in a terrible division. The Titans are not good. I don't think the Texans are as good as everybody else thinks they are, and I think that's going to bear itself out over time. But you're still chasing Jacksonville.
Yep.
And you're not getting into play. I don't see a path that Indianapolis gets in the playoffs because the AFC is so good. But I'll say the same thing about Indianapolis that I said about the Raiders. If you're in the NFC, you're probably a playoff team.
All right, buying or selling?
I'm going to stand pat.
Yep.
I'm going to stand pat. I don't want to give up draft capital. I want to see what I've got. They're much in the same vein of the Arizona Cardinals, which is weird because their coaches came off the same staff. I know you got the coach. Now you got to give the coach time to build the roster the way he wants to. He's doing the best with what he's got.
Last one of the hour, number 17.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
Man, I want to have you lower.
You can't.
How does Brandon Staley still have a job?
I have no idea.
That dude must have pictures of somebody doing something horrible. I would like this as a playoff team with any other coach in the league.
I would agree.
But you're about to waste another year of Justin Herbert, who, as I said yesterday, I do not think is elite, but I think he's in that hall of very good. You've got weapons. Josh Palmer, the dog that I told you he was, had a great game against Kansas City. But it all comes back to that defense is awful.
Mm-hmm. I feel
you
like,
hired a defensive coach, and somehow with all that talent, your defense is still an atrocity.
Yep. And I feel like with a 2-4 record, that season's already kind of over. I mean, I know mathematically you can still bounce back, win a lot of games, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. But realistically speaking, I feel like you're not going anywhere.
Here's the realistically speaking. You already have 4 losses. We have said no less than 100 times that worst case scenario, 10-7 will be the bottom of the barrel that makes the playoffs in the AFC. You have to go to the Jets. You still have to play the Ravens. You still have to play the Bills. You still have to play the Chiefs. That's 4 losses that I can't physically see how you do not lose those games. So you're going to have to steal one of those and win every other game, including one with the Lions that I didn't mention.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening.
Yep.
It's not happening.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville Week 8 Power Rankings. Continue after the top of the hour. Jeremy, coming up after the break, though, he's got his parlay of the night.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
KFC's new hot and spicy wings for $4.99. 8 wings prepped in spicy marinade for a delicious balance of heat and flavor. Get yours for just $4.99. Only at KFC. That's finger licking good.
At the North Carolina Education Lottery, we love to celebrate winners. So I hired a town crier to announce Pick 3, Pick 4, and Cash 5 winners.
Hear ye, hear ye. But there are thousands of winners every day.
Oyez, oyez, oyez.
I may not have thought this through.
A proclamation of jubilant accord.
Who gave him a bell?
Daily draw games. What will you do with your win? Must be 18 to play. See Pick 3, Pick 4 and Cash 5 prize and odds charts at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Tired of a job with no spark? Then join Emery Electric, the Southeast's premier electrical contractor. Competitive pay, a supportive team, and career growth await. Power up your career. Visit EmeryElectric.com/careers. That's EMORY electric.com.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, Advanced Regenerative Medicine. This is amazing stuff. If you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. I'm talking lasting relief. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. Imagine living your life this fall with no more pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Listen, life is about motion, and QC Kinetics is giving people their lives back with these all-natural treatments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today. QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517.
Parlay time on a Coosa Tuesday. New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech. I gave you under the 54 and New Mexico State money line in the first hour. Now I'm going to give you anytime touchdown scorer. Smoke Harris, Diego Pavia. This team runs the ball quite well. and Diego Pavia is a lot of it. These two will both score in what I think will be a lower scoring game. That puts that same game parlay at plus 1,200. Moving over to Liberty, Western Kentucky. I'm taking the Flames minus the 5, under the 60.5. Caden Salter, anytime touchdown scorer. Malachi Corley, anytime touchdown scorer. Liberty is a good defensive team. Malachi Corley is going to be a top 60 pick in the NFL draft next year, and this is one of the few shots he's going to get to play a game that anybody's going to watch, which tells me he's going to find a way to get in the end zone, and he probably does some special things tonight. That puts the Liberty Western Kentucky parlay at plus 950. Put them together. Turns at 13,550, which will take your $5 wager and turn it into $682 if I'm right. Take those wagers to betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy to get a 125% deposit match and up to 30 risk-free bets so you can wager football with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Still on track for some absolutely beautiful weather over the next few days. Warming trend, average high this time of year 67, 10 plus degrees above that, maybe as soon as Friday. The weekend looks great, maybe 80 degrees. Lots of sun today. Enjoy it at 73. Tonight clear near 40. Tomorrow sunny 75. Thursday sunny 75. Friday sunny near 80. And same thing for the weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
It's the season of back to school, back to work, and back to all the wonderful flavors of fall. At Ingles, we're here to help this fall be the best season of the year. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
When seasonal allergies and clogged sinuses make you miserable, you want fast relief. But recently there's confusion about which cold and allergy products work and which ones don't. In fact, oral phenylephrine, a drug found in many oral decongestants in the cold and allergy aisle, is currently being evaluated by the FDA because it may be ineffective. Luckily, there's a drug-free solution called Navage that for many provides on-the-spot relief. Navage is the natural way to relieve congestion by sucking out the allergens, germs, and mucus that can make you stuffy and miserable. Nasal irrigation works, and Navage makes it quick and easy, but more than anything, it helps you breathe better. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril. Trust drug-free Navage so you can breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles studio.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, Hour 3 on a Power Rankings Tuesday, Week 8 in the NFL. What used to be the midway point of the NFL season.
Well, this is the meaty clackers portion of the season.
I love that.
Well, I mean, you got the first 7 games where you really feel out who teams are. Then you got the playoff push in the last 7 weeks. This is that kind of gut check of good teams show who they are and bad teams show who they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's these here in the 9 to 24 range. The bottom 8, I know exactly what you are. The top 8, I don't know what order you fall in, but I know which 8 belong there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shifting that happens in the middle, and those are the wild card teams that wind up getting into the playoffs and accidentally winning a game.
Yep. Number 16.
The Houston Texans.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this team. It makes my head hurt.
But why does it make your head hurt?
Because I don't think they're this good.
Yeah, but there again.
Now, I do think those bottom 16 teams are that bad. Mm-hmm. And that's where I got on Houston is, well, you didn't play, so I can't really drop you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just stay where you were.
Mm-hmm. because this team is fine, right? C.J. Stroud's been better than we thought he would be.
You're right.
His weapons have been better than we thought they would be.
No doubt.
It just seems to be where the defense is better than we thought it would be. There's something to be said for having a great coach. I'm not saying we're ready to crown D'Amico Ryans at this point, but, I mean, hey, if he's not at the top of your Coach of the Year list, you're doing it wrong.
The next 5 weeks of this season are what will determine what they are.
Okay.
Because you play on the road at a Carolina team that's not very good but desperately needs a win.
Yep. That's this Sunday.
This week.
Mm-hmm.
That has a quarterback that they took over your quarterback. This is a trap game that teams like this tend to lose. The following week, you play a Buccaneers team that flat out, they're in terms of talent, they are better than you.
Mm-hmm.
They're more vet than you, but I think you have a better coach. And you're at home.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the Bengals, who, if you even keep that competitive, I'm going to be impressed.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals is a trap game after that, and then the Jaguars. You go 2-3 or better in this stretch, you have a legit shot to make the playoffs. Because you end this season with 2 games against the Titans, one with the Colts, where they may be playing for nothing because their schedule is more difficult than yours. The Broncos, the Browns, and the Jets. You'd have a shot.
Whew, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask.
It's 100% a lot to ask. But if you are worse, frankly, if you're even at 2-3, you've probably put yourself behind the 8 ball.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're worse than that, you're who I thought you were.
Yeah.
And you need to grow and you need time.
Mm-hmm. So buyer or seller? Or are you standing pat?
I'm going to stand pat.
Yeah, there's not a piece out there that I think you can change this team with, right?
The thing that Houston has to be careful of is jumping out of line. Because you don't have you don't have your own first-round pick this year. You still have Cleveland's. Sorry. Every time I think about that Deshaun Watson trade, I'm like, man, that felt really like it was going to change the Cleveland Browns at the time. And now I'm not sure that he didn't just get benched for P.J. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
You just stay the course. You've hit on some guys. Tank Dell has been a dude. Will Anderson's been a dude. C.J. Stroud's been a dude.
Yep.
You hit 3 dudes in one draft. That's as much as you could expect.
Yeah. You don't need to do anything at this moment.
And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. When you jump out of line, that's exactly what the Carolina Panthers did.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how that's going.
Yep. All right, number 15.
The Los Angeles Rams. You remember everything I just said about the Houston Texans?
Yes, sir.
I feel the same way about the Rams.
Okay.
Because I look up and down that roster and go, this roster's still not good. It's still not good, but you seem to be in every single game that you play.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a merit to that. I just don't really know what that merit is. I mean, doesn't this feels too high for them?
I don't know that it does. I feel like this is perfect for them. Because I feel like the high side of that offense is good enough to put you in the top half of the league. And you're making hay, right? You're making it work on defense.
Let me come at this from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Take out the teams behind them. A team that beat the Seahawks week 1,
mm-hmm.
beat the Colts and the Cardinals, and then has lost to the Steelers, Eagles, 49ers, and Bengals. This feels high for that. I feel like the Rams are staying competitive, which we didn't expect,
mm-hmm.
and that's making us think they're better than they are.
But is that making you think that they're better than they are, or are they better than we think they are? Just because
they pass the ball really well.
Yeah, just because you lost those games, though, doesn't mean that you're terrible.
No.
Like, you lost to good
and I'm not
teams,
saying they're terrible.
And, no,
I'm
I
saying
know.
this is saying the Rams are in the top half of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that.
Yes.
Now, the bottom half of the NFL is so bad that's where you slot. This is where you belong in terms of the 32 teams in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you are a 15th best team in the NFL. Good. That says you're the first team that's going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I see a team that can't run a greasy peg up a cat's keister with anybody but Kyron Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They just stop trying really often, and it never seems like your defense gets a stop when you need it to.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have a whole lot of talent, and Matthew Stafford is doing He's doing stuff.
Yep.
And you crushed it with Puka Nacua because he is real good. And now I've said all of that, and we'll say I think the Rams should be a buyer. You need a pass rusher real bad on the opposite side of Aaron Donald because nobody else wins consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And your secondary is going to keep getting you beat if you don't fix it. But you add a Brian Burns, the pick this year is going to be higher than people think. And you get out of a lot of the cap hell that you're in after this year to where you can fill this roster out. I'm a buyer. I'm calling the Panthers like, hey, so I got to sign Brian Burns to a ridiculous deal if I trade for him so that 2 1s is not there anymore. But I'll give you my 1 this year and then a conditional pick next year.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be good enough.
Can I get a conditional 2 out of it?
I don't know what the conditions would be.
Can I get a 1 and a possible 2? 3,
yes.
No doubt.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
I'm all the way in if I'm the Carolina Panthers at that point. I mean, I hate to see Brian Burns go, but that seems to be one of your best options at this point. So Los Angeles Rams at number 15. You're buying on their roster. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 14?
That's not how we do this.
Oh, sorry. Number 14.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 years. Still does that with at least one team.
At least one every time.
This is these are the 3 teams that I just look at and go, you make my head hurt. Pittsburgh makes my head hurt. Kenny Pickett is not a good NFL quarterback. He can take advantage of bad defenses, and he makes a good throw or 2 every week. The defense is not as good as people make it out to be. Because on the outside, you're just not very good.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask a question, and I'm not looking for an example here. Is this the worst 4-2 team you've ever seen in your life?
Yes.
I agree. I could not stop thinking that as I was, for whatever reason, watching them play the Rams. I was on Red Zone. I didn't want to change the channel. But I mean, I just look at you and go, you beat the Browns, you had 2 defensive touchdowns. You beat the Raiders, who are awful. You beat the Ravens in the flukiest way I think I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And in all reality, the Rams should have gotten the ball back with a chance to beat you. And now you go Jaguars, you still got a date in Cleveland, you still got a date in Cincinnati. You got to go to an Indianapolis team that's not nearly as bad as we thought they were. The Bengals at the Seahawks at the Ravens.
Yep. I don't see it for this team.
I am a big believer in things level out, which tells me that you've won, as it sits, you've won 3 games that you shouldn't have, which means you're going to lose at least 2 that you shouldn't. I don't know what to do with Pittsburgh. I don't buy them. I can't imagine that roster in the AFC making the playoffs, but they have a chance. You win the games you're supposed to, and you're going to be right there on the wild card spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you get in, you're not going to like what happens to you when you get there. Can you imagine the Miami Dolphins against that secondary?
What can I get out of Najee Harris right now?
Let's see. 8 coupons for $2 off your McDonald's order.
That's it. Nobody's going to give you anything for him?
I don't see how anybody could. First of all, running backs have absolutely no value whatsoever. And Jaylen Warren just looks faster. He's got more pop. I'm here for the 5th week in a row saying, how does Matt Canada still have a job?
Mm-hmm. It is baffling. Number 13.
Bet you know who it is. The New York Football Jets.
Weird. Your lucky number. Number 13.
That's where they were last week. They just didn't play, so they didn't move. If your defense is this good, and it is this good, you're going to be in a lot of games. Now, coming off the bye, this is a week where you should absolutely beat the bejeebers out of the New York Giants. And if you don't, it's going to call a lot of things into question because this is coming off a bye. They may or may not have their starting quarterback.
But do you have it in you? Do you have it in you just to beat the hell out of somebody?
A team that's going to allow, I'll say the baseline's 5 sacks? Yeah. You do. You have it in you. I'm not saying the offense is going to be special, but are you worried about the Giants stopping the run? No. Then Breece Hall should eviscerate you.
He should. But what if he doesn't?
Yeah, if he doesn't, then it falls on Zach. Well, then it falls on Zach Wilson, who outside of the Washington Commanders, this team has 5 sacks in 6 games.
Mm-hmm. Like you're saying,
this sets up for you should beat them 35-6.
You should, but I don't know that you can score that many points.
Well, I mean, he scored 31 on the Broncos. The Broncos, the Giants and the Broncos are every bit as bad as each other.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you can.
This is a 3-week stretch where the Jets should be 6-3, and then the schedule stiffens up with 2 in the division.
Mm-hmm.
If at the end of this team's not 6-3, they're going to fall out of the spot. You call me a homer all you want to. That defense is that good. That running game is that good, and you still have the threat of Aaron floating out there.
Mm-hmm. Number 12.
The Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, what you just did?
I'm stuck on them.
I am too.
I don't really know. Is this team good? I mean, they're good, but I don't know.
Well,
Are they contenders? Are they for sure no fire? Because I feel like they're closer to San Francisco now, right after I've seen San Francisco kind of poo the bed in the last 2 weeks. So they're closer there. So the division's not necessarily shored up. But I don't know that I really have them up there with the Eagles.
I don't have them. To me, it's the Eagles, and then we'll talk about everybody else.
Right.
In the NFC.
Yeah, because then you have that fun little group of the Lions and the Seahawks and the 49ers. So
the Seahawks just love playing sludgy games. The play call is really infuriating. You have a really good running back in Kenny Walker, and it feels like you don't know how to use him. And now maybe it's
kind of
because
like your Jets.
Maybe it's no, I think they know how to use.
Did
Brees
they
Hall.
figure it out?
Yeah, I think they know how to use Brees Hall. Yeah, they had him on a snap count that nobody talked about. Kenny Walker ain't on a snap count. Do you know how many touches he had last week?
How many?
Take a stab at it.
Was it 12?
It was 28. It was 28 for 111 yards.
Okay.
He's better than that against the Cardinals. And I don't see that same version of Geno Smith. I know he's being efficient. I don't see the chunk plays. You didn't have DK Metcalf last week, so I'm not railing against you that much.
Mm-hmm.
You covered at home against the Cardinals, as you should. It was way more difficult than it should have been.
Yep.
And I will say this, you found something in Jake Bobo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah.
Jake Bobo is a D-O-double-G dog.
No doubt about it.
I am looking forward to when all 4 of those guys are healthy. And you got Jackson Smith and Jigba and Bobo and Lockett and DK.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully you'll stop doing that Colby Parkinson, Noah Fant thing because they're both really, really bad at football. At least parts of it.
Right.
They can both catch a pass if it hits them in the face, but they couldn't block me.
Mm-hmm. Now they'll keep spreading it around. And if anything, there's a trade piece there somewhere.
I just want Seattle to look better than they do. And they could be one of those gross fest teams that it's just never going to look – I almost said artistic there, but that's not the word it doesn't look graceful.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be holding that against you because Philadelphia doesn't look graceful either.
But have they ever been that?
No.
The Seattle Seahawks have never been that team.
No, right? They haven't. But I expect you to, if you're as good as I think you are, and frankly, I think they're better than this. I think they're better than this.
Okay.
But you haven't looked better than this. And so I just feel like there's a gear with Seattle that I want to see you switch into, and you just haven't yet.
Mm-hmm. See, for me, this is about their high side. I think this is your high side as long as Geno Smith is your quarterback, and you have the little nitpicky things, right?
He's so efficient.
He is.
He's so efficient, but his pocket presence leaves a lot to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like he always takes that sack that he's not supposed to, or the intentional grounding, or the bad decision into coverage, and it just looks clunky. I've watched way more of Seattle than I should have.
Yeah. But we feel that way with a lot of quarterbacks, right? Every quarterback has their ceiling of what they can lead you to. Geno Smith is not a championship quarterback. I'm sorry.
This is the old Colin Cowherd line. If I can't explain you in a sentence or two, you're probably not as good as I think you are.
Right.
And I really struggle to explain them.
And you could be a little better than this. I mean, I think we had you in the top 8 last week. or we have had you in the top 8 before.
They got to 8, I believe, one time.
Right. See, but this is the window you live in. You're a pretty good team. You're really good compared to some of the worst teams, but you're never really going to be a no-doubt contender. You're still missing.
You're the high side of what I'm from now on going to call the Rich Vitale group. He said, I see these power rankings changing in a bunch in the next 5 weeks. One of these teams is going to reel off 4 or 5 wins in a row, and it very well could be Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the most talented team that's going to be on in this 8-team section. And if you told me somebody got into that contender tier, it would be Seattle.
Yep.
I just haven't seen it yet.
That's going to be a tough task over the next 5 weeks because they got the Browns at the Ravens, Commanders, Rams, and then the 49ers.
2 of those should be easy wins, and if you steal a third one, that will be...
I mean, it'll be worth something to talk about. Mm-hmm. And then we can really talk about what you're going to do because the next 3 weeks after that go at the 49ers, at the Cowboys, at the 49ers, and then at home against the Eagles. So, I mean, you're going to earn it, right? If you're this good, you're definitely going to earn it if you're the Seattle Seahawks. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Week 8 power rankings continue after this. The Asheville Championship returns to Harrah's Cherokee Center in Asheville November 10th and 12th. This year's field is the best yet. The Clemson Tigers, Maryland Terrapins, Davidson Wildcats, and the Blazers of UAB. 4 exciting matchups with a champion to be crowned in one of the premier early season tournaments in college basketball. For more information and to get your tickets, go to AshevilleChampionship.com. That's AshevilleChampionship.com. It all starts in Asheville November 10th and 12th. Proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Season 4 just launched. You up for a night of binging?
Yeah, I took Mucinex 12-hour DM. Its bilayer tablet takes care of my cough and chest congestion for a full 12 hours.
Cool, let's do this.
Buy Mucinex 12-hour DM now for 12-hour cough and chest congestion relief. Use as directed.
You know when you wake up and your mouth feels gross and you just can't wait to brush your teeth to get that clean, fresh feeling again? That's exactly how millions of Navage users feel when they use powered suction to rinse out their noses every day, just like brushing their teeth. Once you're able to breathe deeply without congestion, you never want to be without it. That's why so many people rave about Navage, with over 100,000 online reviews. Feel the Navage difference for yourself. In less than a minute a day, you'll feel immediate relief from seasonal allergies and congestion after the very first use. Navage will also help you sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier, naturally, without drugs. Start breathing clearly again with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Discover, this is Danny.
Hi, it's Jen Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Are you hungry? 'Cause everyone left after the asparagus sorbet.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
The Gillette Intimate Trimmer gives you a gentle, easy way to trim your pubic region. Or you could try waxing. Nope. From America's #1 trusted men's grooming brand. The best a man can get, down there. Buy Gillette Intimate at a retailer near you.
The Sportsocracy.
Who are we going to cheer for on Sundays now?
Back in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville inside the Ingalls studio. If you haven't picked up your tickets yet, you need to pick them up. AshevilleChampionship.com. Tickets available for the Asheville Championship. It is the first of the premier early college basketball season tournaments. It all starts right here at Harrah's Cherokee Center, Asheville. We've got Maryland, Clemson, UAB, and Davidson in town for the Asheville Championship, November 10th and the 12th. You got 2 games each day. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. It's a Friday and a Sunday. You're going to plan out the entire weekend, and we're giving you your chance leading up to the event to get tickets to that, so stay tuned for your cue to call. We won't be doing one today, but maybe tomorrow we might be giving away some tickets, so keep on listening to the Sportsocracy. We'll make you a winner, send you to the Asheville Championship, proudly sponsored by Ingalls Markets. Again, AshevilleChampionship.com for more info and ticket sales. All right, Power Rankings Week 8. Number 11.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
I want to announce a team. You don't ever let me announce the teams. All right, number 11 is the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burr and company. It looks like those early questions that we had, first few weeks of the season, we're all feeling better about this team, right?
The next 4 weeks there is no team in the NFL that has more riding on the next 4 weeks of the season than the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
And I don't know that it's all that close. Because you have this week, coming off a bye, you have a 49er team that looks super vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to go to their place.
Yep.
You should be able to win that game.
You mean that secondary that Kirk Cousins and Jordan Addison just carved up?
Yep, that's
I got
the one.
Joe Burr and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
And is Steve Wilkes still going to be the coordinator there on Sunday? Okay, cool. You should win this game. Then you play a super vulnerable Buffalo Bills team on Sunday Night Football the following week in your spot. Yeah, that team you just demolished in the playoffs 1 season ago. A spunky little Texans team that you're better than. And then at the Ravens.
And give them one back for the loss that you took to them earlier.
Yep.
You come out of that stretch 3-0, and we're right back to
you come out of that stretch.
Oh God, you're at number 3 in the power.
You come out of that stretch 3-1, and you're right back in the Super Bowl conversation where you started the season.
Yep. Apparently, slow starts are just going to be a thing for this team, and we all need to get used to it. Well, I mean, it's always been something different, right? And it's always been around Joe. Last year, the slow start was because of the appendectomy that he had, right? Missing the offseason. And then this past season, it was, once again, he came in and early it was the calf issue, and things were a major problem.
If there's a tight end available on any market anywhere, you should go get them. Hey, call the Jets about C.J. Uzomah. Oh, wait, don't do that. I like him. Go find a tight end somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you can have Cade Otton. I'll give him to you.
Yeah, because Irv Smith, it is officially time for T's and P's. To Irv Smith is ever going to be a thing.
Yes.
Because he is not.
No, he is not. All right, next up, number 10, excuse me.
The Cleveland Browns.
All right. What is the deal with Deshaun Watson?
I don't know.
That continues to be the number one question.
I don't know. And to be really honest with you, there's not a good answer here. There's not a, hey, that's not going to give me the angina thinking about. Because you either benched him, which, all his doll hairs are guaranteed, so you're going to pay that regardless. Or he refused to go into another game where he had been medically cleared, which is, to me, the most unsettling of all. Here's what I don't get. You got Jerome Ford that went down this week. You're going to miss him for a couple weeks. So you're going to have Kareem Hunt, who you pulled off the street a few weeks ago. The defense is, I know you gave up 1 billion points against the Colts. I got that. Myles Garrett's the reason you just beat them. And maybe a little bit of help from the officials. On the advice of common sense ain't common, I went back and watched that game, the all 22 of it last night.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You might have a case. You might have a case that the officials had a significant role in that game, and it's not just the ones that are being discussed. At some point, the defense has to look at the offense and go, can you do anything for me, please?
Mm-hmm.
We're paying more money to a quarterback than any team in the history of the NFL, and our offense is abysmal when we throw. And I think you got to get to the point where this Deshaun Watson thing is not working. Now, there's nothing you can do about it. This is the reason you don't give fully guaranteed contracts to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have to make it work one way or the other. Because that defense is good enough to be a legit contender. Again, last week notwithstanding. But the offense is not.
No.
The offense is not. You beat Cincinnati and you beat them to death. That's the reason you're ahead of them. Do I think you're better than them right now? No, I don't. No, I don't. I think Myles Garrett is the defensive player of the year, and I'm not real sure that it's all that close.
Yeah. As long as that defense keeps making plays, they're going to be in games.
I think Jim Schwartz is probably the best coaching hire I've seen in the last 5 cycles. Everything defensively, I will give you all of your accolades for. But I don't see how you're going to win games against good teams when you can't move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I put it in your quarterback's hands, and I don't care if it's P.J. Walker. I don't care if it's Deshaun Watson. I don't trust anything. You have, one touchdown to receivers all year long? That's not sustainable.
No.
You're not going to keep blocking kicks and defensive touchdowns and things like that. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
And that's what you needed to beat the Colts.
And now you get to go to the Seattle Seahawks.
That's a real gut check game.
Mm-hmm.
Those two being so close to each other, I look at them in very similar ways.
How do you travel? How do you travel in a tough environment? Can the defense put you over the top again with P.J. Walker? And I don't know that that's the case.
I don't think so.
I very seriously doubt it.
Well, I mean, look, Cleveland's got several games that with that defense you're going to win because you showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the Cardinals. I'm looking at the Broncos. I'm looking at the Rams, the Bears, and probably the Texans. That gets you to 9 wins.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to beat a good team outside of that. And you take away that 49er win, I mean, that Bengal game is a yeah, but. Mm-hmm. If we played that game this week, how you feel?
Right.
I just don't know. I love the defense. I do. I love the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I know Stephen Tao has gotten a lot of fun out of saying historic. They were historic through 6 weeks.
Yep.
And I won't be shocked if they do it again this week.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't last week.
I get that they gave up a lot of points, but that defense still did some pretty amazing things. Myles Garrett leading the way. That's the reason that of all of the performances that we had on Sunday, he was the beast of the night. Right? He was the beast of the week.
Oh, no doubt.
Because of the special plays that he put in.
Speaking of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
nope.
No, that's not how that works.
Nope.
How did I make it through 2 hours of show and not realize that?
I'm your huckleberry.
Matthew Hoffman said just tried the Beast Unleashed for the first time, and it's fantastic. Thanks for the ads telling me about it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
See, anybody that says radio advertising doesn't work, that's proof positive that it does.
That's right.
Also, the inundation I have gotten with people that are trying it going, man, this tastes exactly like Monster. Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm not on FCC radio and cannot be punished for saying things about boozes, I got a little low-key secret for you that it'll really amp up your game day.
Oh, nice. Nice. It is a tasty beverage.
And if you want to get your business in that same vein with ads, Jeremy at thesportsocracy.com. Or you can go to Google and find my office number.
That's right.
I don't put that out on FCC Waves because, well, frankly, I know what people say to me on Twitter, and I don't need to hear you say that out loud.
Absolutely.
It's enough for me to read it and then just go, oy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Something has to give with Deshaun Watson. I don't know what it is, but until you get that figured out, until he gets back on the field, you're not a contender to me. I mean, you're a playoff contender,
This
obviously.
is another team that's in the same boat as I said about Cincinnati. The next 4 weeks are huge for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like you're going to separate yourself one way or the other because you play 2 divisional games. You play one against a team that's not in your ballpark talent-wise, and you play another team that is exactly in your ballpark.
Yep.
You need to win that Seahawk game. You need to win one of those divisional games. You need to beat the Cardinals.
Yep.
You do that, you're sitting at 7-3, and now we're having a much different conversation.
Without a quarterback, without Deshaun Watson, I feel like you're the New York Jets. And I can't trust them either. I'd trust that defense all day long. But the offense, I cannot trust you. And the problem is they have Breece Hall and you have Jerome Ford, who's been fine, but it's not selling me on this this whole notion that you should be a contender. All right, and then number 9.
This one's easy because they didn't play this week. The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, buying or selling?
I feel like if there's a corner on the market, you need to at least make the call.
Yes. I am buying on whoever's going to be made available.
It's changed the dynamic of that defense so much. And yes, I'm holding the 49er game against you. I'm also holding the fact against you that what their offenses look like 2 weeks in a row. And they blistered you.
Mm-hmm. You definitely need help in the secondary. And if anybody's going to make a corner available, you need to be calling on that because I still believe that this team has a shot.
Now, they're in a slightly different boat of you have 4 of your next 5 should be wins before the schedule gets evil at the end. If Dallas is not sitting at I will conservatively say if they're not sitting at 7-4, you're going to have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a real big boy problem.
Yep.
And this week against the Rams, that might be the most important game of the week. But if you lose that game, it is going to completely alter how we look at you coming out of the bye.
Follow me down the narrative path. This is the perfect build-up for Cowboys, right? This is Dallas Cowboys football. We're going into a stretch here where we got 5 winnable games. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go out here.
And losable 2 of them.
No. I was going down the path of we're going to winnable all of them. We're going to winnable all of them. And we will be 7-4, and everybody will have us at number 4 in the power rankings, and then that's when it comes in. That's when you hit that evil part of your schedule, and everybody goes, oh, wait, you're not as good as we thought you were. It's happened many, many years before. I mean, every year it felt like since 1993, really.
You're not wrong.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We got the top 8 coming your way on the Power Rankings Tuesday next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Still on track for some absolutely beautiful weather over the next few days. Warming trend, average high this time of year, 67, 10-plus degrees above that, maybe as soon as Friday. The weekend looks great, maybe 80 degrees. Lots of sun today. Enjoy it at 73. Tonight, clear near 40. Tomorrow, sunny 75. Thursday, sunny 75. Friday, sunny near 80. And same thing for the weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Boost Infinite.
Hey, if you're thinking of getting the latest iPhone, you need to stop and check out the wireless offer from Boost Infinite. For more, just pick up your phone and dial pound 250 and say Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and Boost Infinite. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text message from this station's network.
Now, you can relive the greatest moments from our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Streaming only on Hulu.
Lenny Kravitz kicks things off with his biggest hits.
Foo Fighters get the whole crowd singing along.
Tim McGraw debuts his new song live.
Public Enemy brings the 90s hip-hop energy.
Fall Out Boy covers a classic while literally on fire. And so much more.
Relive the greatest moments from our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Streaming now only on Hulu for a limited time.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate Razor. While others need a Gillette Anti-Chafe Stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
It's the Asheville Turkey Trot 5K and Gobble Wobble, Thursday, November 23rd in downtown Asheville. The 23rd running of this great event starts at 9:15 Thanksgiving morning with the Gobble Wobble 1 mile fun run starting at 8:30. Part of the proceeds benefit Manna Food Bank. Last year, over 2,000 runners helped create 24,000 meals for Manna during the holiday season. So before you hit the buffet, come out and hit the streets. For more information and to get signed up, go to AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. AshevilleTurkeyTrot.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeart Media Asheville.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels, whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys, and we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
Myles Garrett, he might be a movie star. Like, he might be a movie football player. Like, he reminds me of the dude from the program. Just beast. That's why he was our beast of the night yesterday. Beast of the night tonight. Or last night, Jordan Addison. And the beast
of tomorrow, Diego Pavia.
I was going to say beast of tomorrow. Who?
Diego Pavia. Or Malachi Corley.
Malachi Corley, that was the one. We got Coosa football tonight. If you missed tonight's best picks, you can go back and hear them on the podcast later on. Are you going to put those out individually?
No.
Okay. All right. So you can go back on the podcast and listen to that. Coosa Tuesday, your best bets in the night. And, of course, the parlay, which you hope to earn tens of dollars on. How much was the payout?
$682, I think.
No, that's not bad.
There's a lot of anytime touchdown scores in two games that I both think are going under. This is about as volatile of one of those parlays as I've ever put out, which means this is the one that'll hit.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Because they ain't hit one of those in a while. We're continuing with the Week 8 power rankings here in the Sportsocracy. And next up, number 8.
The Miami Dolphins.
So, where do we sit with this team right now? After the Eagles' loss, have you changed your mind at all?
You're going to have to beat a good team before I want to listen to you whine.
Yeah.
That's straight up. I mean, yeah, you have an offense that is super dynamic. And you have 5 wins against teams that are, let's see, 32nd, 31st, 28th. I don't remember where they are. They're in the bottom 5 somewhere.
Yeah.
And the LA Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first week of the season, and you could very easily have lost. You have played 2 good teams that are both ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
One of them beat you brainless, and the other beat you pretty savagely.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of about half a quarter, it never felt like you were in their weight class. The defense is not great. Now, here's the but. You have Xavier Howard coming back. You got Jalen Ramsey coming in, debuting, because he hasn't played here before.
Right.
I feel like that changes a lot, but I want to see it before I really put much merit into that. Because I've seen both of those guys get burned, and have you just so happened to look at who this team has to play down the stretch? You're going to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to earn it.
Oh, yeah, especially that last 4 weeks of the season.
Yes. Because you play some really good defenses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my question. You were down on Tua yesterday. I'm not to that point. I think he's a top 8 quarterback in this league. It just really helps when he's clean.
Mm-hmm.
Because his every metric on Tua goes through the floor when he gets pressured.
Yep.
Well, you got a left tackle that I can't count on to be healthy. You got a center that can't snap the ball. And the rest of it's fine.
That's why I'm down on Tua. When I said that yesterday, I wasn't trying to take a shot at Tua. Like I said, I've always been the Tua defender, right? It's in him. He's got good football in him. He just needs to bring it out, and he has been bringing it. The problem is if it's not all I don't want to say handed to him. If it's not protected for him, I don't see him making the extra play, the tight window throw in crunch time that's going to give you the game, right?
This is a team that has to stay healthy because the roster is super thin. By the way, have you seen the advanced metrics on Chase Claypool?
No.
And I was being facetious with its advanced metrics. The Bears' record with him was just abysmal. The Steelers have been fantastic since they traded him. The Bears are 2-0 since they traded him to the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are 0-1 since he was activated.
Aw. It's a lot of coincidence for
100%.
a guy that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100%. Kiss it.
Because if he can come in and play a piece, then fine, but he's not pushing this team over the top to me.
If I'm Miami, I'm looking at this line. If there is a center available anywhere, you have too many snaps that skip to his feet or go over his head or to the side. You got to have somebody that can snap the ball. I mean, if it's Connor Williams, more power to you, but he's been hurt for what feels like forever. I know it's only been a few weeks, but still, that's where I'm at. I'd like to have another pass rusher, but you're already so invested in Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb that you just need them to be more consistent.
Is anybody gonna give up an offensive lineman?
I cannot think of one.
I was gonna say I pretty much chalked up to all of these teams that have offensive line problems. Sorry, out of luck.
Have to figure it out.
Right. I mean, you're up the creek without a paddle here, brother. It is the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Week 8 power rankings. The Miami Dolphins at number 8. Let's go number 7.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
There are obviously problems here.
I want you to be lower, but I can't put you lower.
Yeah, I mean, we still believe that this team can make noise.
Do we?
The problem is...
Do we believe that?
I mean, you should. I believe you should.
Depends on what make noise means.
I mean, you're going to be a scary team that nobody really wants to play in the playoffs.
Nope. Can't agree to that.
Really?
Nope. I don't think you're coached well. I think your quarterback has regressed aggressively without Brian Daboll. All right, let's play a game.
Yep.
I'm just looking at the AFC standings. You tell me when I get to the team that you would rather play than the Buffalo Bills. Kansas City Chiefs, Miami Dolphins, Baltimore Ravens, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Maybe. I think I might play them, but I'd rather play them maybe.
Not even close to me. Now we're getting into that Steelers, Browns, Texans, Jets. Oh, I forgot one. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, no.
You'd rather play the Bills than the Bengals?
No.
Okay. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
So, I mean, you're 6 in the AFC. That's not, you're going to make some noise. Okay, you might beat a team in the playoffs if you're lucky enough to get there, but your schedule's evil.
Yeah, but you're also capable of beating any of those other teams. I've already seen you beat Miami, right? Yeah. I saw you handle Miami.
I don't know that you're consistently capable of beating these teams.
No, but here's the thing. Consistency hasn't really mattered for this team ever. And maybe you should focus on that. That'd be a nice thing to have, but they can still beat anybody.
Well, here's the problem. This is a team that has consistently gone out in the divisional round. This team has not been – this is the worst this team has been in 4 solid years.
Yep.
Why in the world would I expect you to get further than you have in the past? I wanted Buffalo lower. I couldn't put them any lower.
No.
I couldn't put them behind Miami because you beat Miami's brains out.
Yeah, but this is where you live, right? 7 – so
they lived in the top 3, and they finished in the top 8.
Sure.
So this is probably where they should have lived, but they haven't.
Right. We've thought you were better than this, but this is always where you've been, right? We've thought that you can be better. You can strive to be better, but this is where you've lived.
Until Ken Dorsey can show me that Brian Daboll offense, I do not believe in you.
Yeah.
I said yesterday definitively they're not going to make the playoffs, and I stick by it. And you know what's funny? 24 hours of that out on every social media. I have yet to have one Bills fan disagree with me.
No.
They've all gone, I agree, they could still reel off 5 wins. And you're 100% right. They totally could. And as soon as they do that, maybe I'll believe in you again. But as of right now, I don't.
Yep. All right, well, what are they adding?
God, it'd be nice if you had a corner of any kind, a linebacker of any kind. I mean, look, I like Dorian Williams, but he's an inexperienced rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's being asked to do a lot.
Yeah.
Allegedly, they've already called around the league about practically any linebacker you could want and have been rebuffed.
All right, let's go.
I do not know if that's true or not, but
All
I've seen it.
Let's go to number 6.
The Detroit Lions. Yeah, this week was bad.
Yeah,
it was a bad week.
It was not good.
It was also a rather predictable week.
You predictable it.
Sure did. And now the question is, where do you go from here? Because this is really the tale of, are you the team that we thought you were? Because you're 5-2. You don't play another game that you will be a dog in until the day before New Year's Eve at the Dallas Cowboys. You'll be a favorite in every game. So the question is, how do you handle success? Because they're going to go and beat the bejeebers out of the Las Vegas Raiders this week. That's in Detroit. You're coming. This is a mad team, and you are way better than they are. Then you go into L.A. off a bye. That's the toughest team you play outside of the Cowboys for the rest of the year. This Detroit Lion team should go 13-4 at worst. But what if you don't? What if you lose a couple of these games that don't make any sense? Because you avoided Green Bay in Lambeau in the cold. You play 2 with Minnesota at the end of the year. They may be playing for absolutely nothing by that time because Minnesota has a serious identity crisis. You got a slew of teams here that may be playing for absolutely nothing.
At that point,
you have to not get caught.
Yeah, I was going to say, at that point, the Vikings will be playing for a playoff spot more than likely. With Justin Jefferson coming back, I mean, maybe I shouldn't have said more than likely, but it's a great possibility.
50-50 shot.
Yeah, that they'll be playing for a playoff spot. Cowboys aren't going to be fun, but every other game on that schedule, you need to win.
100%. And there is a better than 0 chance the Detroit Lions go into the NFC playoffs as the 1 seed.
Yep.
Because that schedule is that bad moving forward.
Number 5.
I lost it. Oh, no. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is this team living up to the pressure, or can they live up to the pressure? That's the big question.
The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Detroit Lions are the exact same team because you both are pretty new to your stature. You just have to be able to handle success because neither one of these teams play more than 2 or 3 teams that they even could lose to unless you come out and just go full grumper. And it's possible. It's possible that the 2-1 seeds are the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Detroit Lions.
It could be.
That's weird to say coming off a week where Jacksonville struggled with New Orleans and Detroit just got pulverized by the Baltimore Ravens. But I believe it.
I see it more with Detroit than I do with Jacksonville Jaguars. They do have a couple of more tougher games on their schedule. 49ers, Bengals, Browns, Ravens. That's tough.
That's the 4.
But here's the thing. Exactly.
Outside of that, there are no more.
Right. You go 6-4 the rest of the season. Guess what? You're 11-6. Congratulations.
And that's if you beat none of those teams.
Which I don't know that I'm ready to believe in that yet. But you did pick up the win against the Bills on the road, but that was the start of the downslide.
That wasn't on the road. That was in London.
Yeah, but you weren't at your home. So
they're better in London than they are in Jacksonville. So
but yes, no, it was not in Buffalo, so it was not a true road game. But I don't know if I'm ready to believe in them or not yet.
I think they're good. Now you just got to be able to handle success.
Yep. All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the Week 8 Power Rankings with the top 4.
The best season of the year is here.
Tailgate season.
Monster Brewing presents this season's MVP.
The Beast Unleashed.
With 4 bold, familiar flavors.
With 0 caffeine and 0 sugar.
Beast Unleashed is your new pregame ritual.
With white haze, mean green, peach perfect, and scary berries, there's a flavor for every fan. The Beast Unleashed.
6% alcohol by volume. Unleashed responsibly. Must be 21 or over. Beast Unleashed. Available at your local retailer.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Imagine a world where animals and humans coexist in harmony, where wild animals thrive, habitats are protected, and marginalized communities are empowered. At International Animal Rescue, this is our vision. Our holistic, community-led projects not only rescue animals, but also protect and replenish precious habitats, creating a better future for us all. But we can't do this without you. Show your support now and help keep the wild wild. Visit internationalanimalrescue.org.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4victims.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville Week 8 Power Rankings. Number 4.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, San Francisco. I mean, come on. I'm still trying to figure out what that was against the Minnesota Vikings last night. Still scratching my head about the Cleveland Browns game. This team just does not work when all the pieces aren't there.
Well, I mean, and like we said earlier, if you need to be propped up by a top 15 receiver and a top 3 tight end and the best running back in the league and the best left tackle in the league, you're not a big boy NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are probably 40 guys in the league that could win with the things I just said. I think they have an issue with Purdy. The bigger issue to me is Steve Wilks. Mm-hmm. Last night, you could convince me that you got absolutely hammered at the bar at about 6 o'clock, and you just started picking things off a sheet because that was one of the worst called games I have ever seen from a defensive coordinator in this league.
Anything you'd add to this team?
Health, a better doctor. You need vitamins, drink milk. Stop breaking things.
Number 3.
The Baltimore Ravens. It's your biggest jump of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And they earned it because they just showed they have a high side. That is evil.
Yes.
If that is what that offense is going to look like, they're going to be really difficult to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not really a defense in the AFC that is built to stop that. This may be a hair of an overreaction, because they kind of have a Buffalo Bills thing where they will let down when you really expect from them. But you just rose to an occasion unlike any team in the NFL has done all year. Mm-hmm. You have the most impressive win of the season.
Yep. And Lamar.
Not just who you beat, but how you beat them.
Yep. And Lamar's playing at an MVP level right now. If he can continue that, ceiling is real high for this team.
He would have my MVP vote right now.
Number 2.
The Philadelphia Eagles. You're the best team in the NFC, and it's not even all that close.
Yeah.
After last night, hey, San Francisco fans, you ready to keep telling me how bad they'd walk Philadelphia? Because you shouldn't.
Mm-mm.
I said it yesterday. Jalen Hurts is winning in spite of himself, and that is a scary thought because that means that team is so good that they're almost impervious to turnovers.
Right.
Now, you're going to have to sort that out. You can't turn the ball over at this clip and be a Super Bowl champion, but I'm also looking at the NFC going, man, there's a lot of buts because there are not a lot of NFC teams in the top 14. It's a whole mess of AFC teams.
Oh, well, when your defense is that good, you can afford to have a couple of turnovers or extra possessions for the other team because chances are we're going to keep them out of the end zone.
Yes.
Is there anything that this team needs?
They got it yesterday. Kevin Byard.
Okay.
That was a whale of a move by Howie Roseman.
Mm-hmm. The secondary's better now, so let's see how high the ceiling can be. Because if it were not for one other team, they would be my number one in the NFL, and that is, of course, at number one,
the Kansas City Chiefs.
You just continue to do it, right? Kansas City Chiefs, just rinse, repeat, just keep it going. Travis Kelce is, he's a god.
Well, and you got Rashee Rice, who's really turning into that outside threat. He plays predominantly out of the slot, but he's becoming that threat.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be shocked if they find a way to use Mecole Hardman. This is what they do.
Yep.
And the defense is so improved. Something to watch, though, with Kansas City, with Nick Bolton. Him going down for 2 months, I'm really curious to see how that defense looks.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last couple of years, they have not been the same unit without him on the field. And Drew Tranquill is a huge step down.
Yep.
If there was a linebacker to replace him with, that would be what they should pursue. From what I'm told, there ain't one out there. If there were, the Bills would have already overpaid for him.
Our Week 8 power rankings in the books. It is a whole brand new week, and that means we've got a whole lot of room for more craziness in the NFL. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 right here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Still on track for some absolutely beautiful weather over the next few days. Warming trend, average high this time of year, 67. 10-plus degrees above that, maybe as soon as Friday. The weekend looks great, maybe 80 degrees. Lots of sun today. Enjoy it at 73. Tonight, clear near 40. Tomorrow, sunny, 75. Thursday, sunny, 75. Friday, sunny, near 80. And same thing for the weekend. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics for long-lasting relief. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. With locations in Asheville and Greenville.
Hustle up, we've got 8 more floors to go before lunch.
Sarusha's window washing business is reaching new heights.
Wipe, and let's roll.
They need more certified cleaners to keep online reviews crystal clear.
Team, I know we're hustling, but watch for streaks. Candace, can you give me a hand over here?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Some intimate parts need the gentle, easy trim of a Gillette trimmer. And some need the closeness and comfort of a Gillette Intimate razor. While others need a Gillette anti-chafe stick. Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get, down there. Buy now.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.